Guys, I apologize about the title on the stream. I accidentally put Brother Fitzgerald Stevens. I don't know why, because I just finished the stream with Brother Fitzgerald. But we got Brother Brandon from Pan Africanism Strikes Back with us with the calming Zen tree with the sunset in the background. Again, the calming Zen tree with the sunset in the background. I thought that was the tree in Wakanda on the Black Panther, where I guess T'Challa had a little talk with his dad. So I thought that was that tree, but it's not that tree. So everyone, again, we are live. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the content. We really appreciate you guys' support. Again, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. Also, go to dynastymirror.com. Go to dynastymirror.com. While you're there, buy some merchandise. Buy the new release. Again, buy the new release. It's Libation Time, a children's guide to the ancestors. Make sure you cop that new release. Go to dynastymirror.com or go to amazon.com and buy the new release, you guys. Also, become a monthly Patreon. Again, we don't have a huge advertising budget. You know, people are talking about, we need Black media. We need our own media. You know, we CNN and Fox News, they ain't telling our story. We tired of European media. Okay, well, support Black media. So become a monthly Patreon. Patreon.com, search for Huru. Again, patreon.com, search for Huru. Also, the Cash App is scrolling on the bottom of the there on the scroller, or not scroller, but the whatchamacallit,
the ticker.
Ticker. There you go. The ticker. My bad. The ticker. The bottom of the screen. Thank you, Larry. Larry's Anything Goes LLC. Keep up the great work, Dynas. You inspire us all. Again, keep up the great work, Dynas. You inspire us all. Shout out to Larry, Anything Goes LLC, for the super chat. Thank you for blessing the church. Guys, I have some exciting announcements coming in the next couple of weeks. Because, guys, again, when you guys contribute, okay, part of that money goes in my belly because I got to eat. But I reinvest that into the platform, into the programs, into the initiatives, into the businesses, into the opportunities. So, guys, that money is going back into, the infrastructure. There we go. The infrastructure of Dynasty Mirror, so we can grow the brand and build and offer tangibles and offer solutions. So, well, I mean, everybody's about tangibles. So I'm like, it's time, we're offering tangibles. So I have some news coming up, and also that money, I put it back into my education. So I'm getting my real estate license. So I could, I guess, once I'm going to be opening up, so I'm going to be doing real estate on the continent. So there's a certain standard that I want to bring over to the continent as well when it comes to real estate. So it goes into my education as well. So again, like, share, and subscribe as you guys come into that chat room. Today's topic, everyone, are you on code or just on the bandwagon? Like, are you serious about this code? I keep hearing this term. I'm on get on code, get on code, get on code. Or are you just on the bandwagon? Because Brandon, now correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the code changes like once every 5-6 months. It's a new code.
Right. It changes based on the trends, Whoever's popping at the time is defining the code.
Right. What are your thoughts on that? Like, who defines, here we go, Brandon. Who defines the code?
Well, that's the tough part. The code would have to be defined by a group of people, the people do, basically. Black people as a whole, before we tell Democrats or anybody like that what we want, right? We first have to tell each other what we want, right? We never do that. We expect everybody to give us what we want. And it seems like everybody's sitting around asking Black people the same thing. Well, Black folks, what do you want? And it changes with every Black person that you talk to. One Black person wants a check. One Black person wants some land. One black person wants to separate, another black person wants this or that, and it's a lot of different people going different ways. And so what white supremacy does is they're able to find, right, the black person who wants something that they can easily give without changing anything, right? And then they take that person and parade them all over the place in front of black people and say, hey, this is your leader. Dinus, me and you, we want black people to repatriate back to Africa and build up Africa so we'll have a place, like Tupac said, for us, a place we could kick it, right? Well, Roland Martin, all he wants is a butter biscuit from the Democratic Party. All right. A television show. So they say, look, we either what we gonna give? We gonna give reparations, right? We gonna give reparations, or we gonna give Roland Martin his TV show. Right. They're gonna give him the TV show because that's easy. That's something they can easily give.
You know what's funny, Brandon? So Roland Martin made an announcement as he was wearing this Alpha Phi Alpha. I don't know what the hell he was wearing, a dress looking thing. Dude. And he swears it's African garbs, but I'm just like, Roland, if you watch this, Roland, if you're watching this, let me connect you to my Senegalese tailor, because I don't know.
We got the best tailors.
They got Senegal has the best tailors. I don't know what the hell he be wearing, Roland, but Roland was like, I have a special announcement to make in 6 months, and so translation,
he about to get a show.
Right. If Joe Biden's elected, he's gonna live stream him eating butter biscuits out of Joe Biden's hand in front of the White House. That's pretty much, and I wanted to put that in there, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that. So, yeah.
Hey, I've been messing. I'm just trying to get my green screen lighting correct, but it's
okay.
It's being stupid today. But anyway, so yeah, basically, Roland Martin wants a show. So what they're gonna do is find all the black, like even if you look at the civil rights movement, right? Martin Luther King wanted a lot, so what they had to do was get rid of him. Malcolm X wanted a lot. They got rid of him, and they just went with the people who are willing to accept less. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it, the people they went with, what have they delivered? Al Sharpton is still alive. Jesse Jackson's still alive. All these people are still alive. Those were the gatekeepers. Those were the people who said, we'll take the place of the people who with real demands, right? And we'll just pretend like we're holding you accountable, white supremacy. But in reality, what we're going to do is let you off the hook, right? So those people were also making the call for everybody to get on code. But nobody had a clear definition of what the code was. So guess what the code really was? The code was really a bandwagon. That's what our people talk about. Even when we had the other episode, everyone was talking about what was cool and this is great and this is great and that. A lot of people were just mad. They were talking about like, Brandon, you're off code. No, Brandon, you refuse to get on the bandwagon of negativity. So now we're coming at you, right? But a code involves a clearly defined goal. And you know what we need to do? We need to stop using the term code, right?
Why?
The word doesn't even represent what we want, right? If you look in Webster's, right, the definition of a code is a system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words, letters, etc., especially for the purpose of secrecy. That is the definition of a code. Number 2, program instructions, right? Program instructions, right? We don't even got a program, so how can we have a code, Dennis? We don't even got a program, so how can we have a? But let me share a definition of something better than a code. Let's look up the definition of the word oath. Oath is a solemn promise regarding one's future action or behavior. This is why Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore sold you the word code, but not the word oath. Because with a code, you can say, yo, I'm on code, but that doesn't obligate you to anything. An oath is saying, I promise you that I will act in a certain way concerning our people.
Right.
We want a code when we should want an oath. We want an apology or a hug when we should want tangibles. See, Black people don't really know what they want because they don't even know the definitions. And that's one thing I really appreciate about Dr. Umar Johnson for the people who don't like him. One thing Umar Johnson did successfully was he gave Black people the terminology to help them explain what was going on with them. So you didn't have to just say, when that person does this, I don't know the word for that. He gave you terminology that fit or explained or defined your struggle, right? And that's what we're lacking right now. We've already turned against him. So now we're at the mercy of all these people who are just selling you all these buzzwords, right? And you're just jumping from one bandwagon to the next. And I'm looking at CEO DMP, for instance, code. Don't set up a black channel just to tear down other black channels. Is that a code? Did we make an oath first? I never promised you that I wouldn't do that. Nobody ever promised you that they wouldn't use their channel for their personal gain at your expense. See, you cannot have a code if you don't have an oath first. These people have not obligated themselves to you. So how you going to tell them to be on code? What code? Do you have a list? Is this code written down on paper so people know that they're following it or not? Look at the Hebrew Israelites. They can always refer back to the commandments. That is an oath that they took. So they got an oath, and it is written in code. The code is the physical or the literary manifestation of the oath, Dinus. And that might go over some people's head. Let me say that again. The code is the literary manifestation of an oath. You have no oath, so therefore you have no code. So everybody's doing whatever they want to do. It's like when Christians say, don't judge me. That just means let me do what I want to do and don't hold me accountable. That's the same thing when they say you off code. Let me do what I want to do. Don't hold me accountable. You can't hold me accountable, or else what? You're off code, but there's been no oath.
All right, guys, again, hit that like button. Hit that like button, everybody. So why is this term? Why is this code term? This term code? Why is it used so loosely? You think, Brandon?
Well, just because Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell said it when they were doing the whole ADOS movement, it just was a popular buzzword, right? You remember back in the day, people used to say, "Man, that's tight, that's sweet, that's this." Whatever's the popular wording at the time, black people love slang. Code that's on code has become the new slang. It doesn't do anything for us. No one's really operating based on it, but we keep throwing it out whenever someone disagrees with what we're doing. It's only used as a defense mechanism against buffoonery and buck dancing and negativity. No, I want to leave my family. Oh, but you attacking me, huh? You ain't on code. And usually what you'll notice, people usually follow the word. When someone says some BS, that's when they usually follow it with you not on code. You're
Right.
like, what? The dude's touching kids, but because he's your favorite rapper, I'm on code for bringing it up? Come on, dude. Doesn't work like that. I got, Dinus, let me tell you something. I got a family member, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy is like the creepy uncle, right? Straight creepy uncle. So creepy uncle does something that I didn't approve of. I go to his house, gives me a bunch of lip. We get in a physical altercation. He gets his ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
My whole family was like, yo, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. I'm like, wait a minute. Creepy uncle who fought 2 cases for being creepy with kids does another creepy thing around our family this time with our kids and our family, and I address him. He gets his ass whooped. Dinus, suddenly I'm off code. You should have did that. Da-da-da-da. See what I'm saying? That's how these people throw around these type of terms. All it was we want to continue with the buffoonery that black families have been involved in for years, hiding the fact that they had different predators among them.
Hold on. Crypto Black, how are we talking negative, Crypto Black? I mean, how's this a negative episode?
Now,
go ahead, bro. Crypto Black, call in about 20 minutes. Crypto Black, call in. All right, go ahead,
when you talk about mature content, Dinus, the childlike minded of us who want to just remain in a state of immaturity are going to say, oh, that's negative. I used to have a girlfriend. Every time I told her she needed to clean up her house, she always used to say, why are you being so negative? Well, I'm obviously not with her anymore. And she's still unmarried. And if you go to her house, the cat litter box is probably full of poop and the whole house is smelling like crap. You know, my negativity was taken as negativity for her. For me, I was like, yo, no, I'm trying to make you aware of something that will impact you for the rest of your life. So we're addressing things that have been impacting Black people for our entire existence in North America. And now that we're unpacking all these things that Black people refuse to talk about, now you're being negative, right? But the same person goes and turns on WAP. They go turn on whatever. I'm not gonna mention the channels, but they go turn on what Karen did today. Oh, did you see the police beat a nigga to a bloody pulp today, etc., etc. All that is negativity, but this is negativity. But the kids getting touched and molested want us to talk about this. Whatever you do, because you're probably the creepy uncle, you don't want us to address it. It hurts too much. But anyway, so my family was all against me. But this happens in many Black families around the country. Whenever you stand up for what's right, whenever you try to be a family, right? Whenever you try to define the code clearly of what your family does and doesn't do, you're the bad guy, because a code takes discipline. And what you'll notice, Dinus, is you got a bunch of undisciplined people talking about somebody else not being on code. Those people
expand on that. Expand on that.
Okay, Dinus, it's like this. You play sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
You play football, right?
Right.
I played football too, was a starter, captain on every team I played for. There was always that guy who was a bench warmer, never got in the game. Talk
the most shit.
Every time you hit the sideline, the dude has something negative to say about the coaches, about another player, about what offense or defense we were running. You know what you did with that dude? You knew if that guy's mindset was allowed to creep into the inner workings of your team, you were going 0-10, bro. But if everyone was good enough to ignore that idiot,
right,
you guys were going to have an undefeated season, right? That exists in every single social dynamic in the Black community. That is the cancer. The cancer comes in to defend the buffoonery, right? Because the cancer thrives on the buffoonery. Just like cancer in your body thrives on you eating bad foods, negative health practices, the people who are the most cancerous in our community, they thrive on a constant stream of negativity and unaccountability. Because everybody, bro, I've been getting emails all week about last show. Bro, don't stop, keep doing what you're doing. You were dead on point, right?
Right.
The guy who like this dude here, he's only willing to go as far as to comment in the stream on the chat. He's not gonna go beyond that. He won't.
Hold on. I don't want to say that. I don't know that. You know, but I don't want to assume that he won't. But
listen, if that guy calls into this show, let me tell you something right now. If that guy calls into this show, and I'm not talking about just calls in just to spite me. If that guy calls in and makes an articulate argument about how I'm being negative, I got something for you, bro. I will repurchase all your books.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, guys, hit that like button. I mean, for God's sake, guys, please support and hit the like button. It helps us with the rankings of the videos. So the least you could do is hit the like button if you're watching this. If you're not super chatting. And another thing too, if you guys are watching this and you have not bought a book for your kids, your nephews, your nieces, even Brandon bought a book. In fact, Brandon bought all the books, actually. Brandon bought all the books. So guys, buy a book as well. Go to dynasmir.com, buy a book, and also hit that like button. That's the least you guys do. Go ahead, Brandon.
Dynasty, just like our ancestor Malcolm X said, right? Malcolm X, when he gave his Ballad of the Bullet speech, he said, you best believe that there are enemies in here among us. He knew that every time they had a meeting or they came together to talk about progress, the enemy was going to be in attendance. Dinus, when you have to beg people to hit the like button in your stream, that gives you a good understanding that there are many people in here who are not here for any other purpose but to sow dissent and negativity, because they won't even like. If you don't like the content, hit the dislike button. That also helps the algorithm too. That's all the same stuff. They sit, they watch, and they wait for openings to criticize, right? That's our community. You could give out turkeys. There's gonna be somebody like, man, the turkeys is too small. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. When I speak what I speak, I don't speak it to criticize what other people are doing. But I will criticize your ass if you ain't doing nothing. Because at this point, we need all hands on deck. Being on code is more than just not saying something that might hurt somebody's feelings, right? Being on code means you're putting in the work that is necessary, that is conducive to our progress. That's the real being on code. Actions speak louder than words. Dynas told you I bought all his books. Dynas supports me as well. You think I value what you say over what Dynas say? Dynas is proving what he's saying through action. All you doing is throwing a bunch of empty words into the unending nothingness that is the internet.
Okay, let's see here. This is not about no slang. This is about falling in line. Stop twisting it.
Falling in line with what? Dynas, falling in line with what? Grandmaster J had the NFAC. Those dudes was trying to organize to help protect black people. All black people did was tear him down to the point where he don't even want to do it no more.
Let me ask you, Brandon, why is everybody an agent? Like everybody's an agent.
Because black people look at discipline, right? Discipline, hard work, and dedication is so foreign to most black people that they don't understand it. So black people fear what they don't understand.
I gotta write that down. Keep going. I gotta write that down.
Okay. Black people fear what they don't understand because they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do anything for anybody who's not paying them. So they can't understand when you do it. See, that's our people. Our people don't want to do nothing unless it involves a paycheck. Our people don't want to do nothing unless it involves a butter biscuit. But he who controls the butter biscuit controls the mind of the ignorant black person. See what I'm saying? Because
that's a show. That's a show.
All that trash, let me wave a couple thousand in front of his face. He'll be over here. What's up, bro? He'll be the most positive person in the world for that. And we've all experienced that. Our people are bought. They are for sale, like slavery. But when you decide to get off the auction block, when you decide to have some type of integrity about yourself, oh, suddenly you an agent, suddenly you tear people down and all that type of stuff. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? People, Dynas don't got to be running this channel, helping people learn about Africa and offering them financial solutions to their problems. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you have a channel? Is it doing anything constructive? Dynas, Black Ambassador is my brother. That's my brother. He said something that blew me away. He said, Brandon, YouTube is a how-to platform. YouTube is designed to visually teach people how to do things. If you got a clogged sink, you're going to go to YouTube to see if you can fix it. If you need to replace your alternator on your car, you can go to YouTube and find the model and make of your car and an old white mechanic, most times than not, who's showing you exactly how to do that job. YouTube is a how-to platform, right? If you are here and you're not here to learn how to do something, then you are wasting your time. If you're not here to learn how to do something, you're wasting your time and you need to go find something more productive to do with yourself. Now, whether Grandmaster J is an agent or not, why is an agent outworking you?
Hey, one second, guys. Guys, don't moderators don't, unless somebody's doing something just flagrant and just out of line. Don't time them out immediately. Go ahead, Brandon. I like people can have differing opinions. That's fine.
Yeah, the differing opinions make us better.
Yeah, people have different. Don't just time people out.
You can't,
go ahead, Brandon.
But look. If Grandmaster J is an agent, you should feel ashamed that an agent is outworking you. If an agent is willing to get on a plane and go somewhere to check on something, some injustice that happened to black people, all you did was sat on your couch and complained about it, then watched the news, then went and watched a YouTube channel that reiterated all the things the news say, etc. Grandmaster J ain't outworking Dynas. Grandmaster J ain't outworking me. Grandmaster J ain't outworking the people who really out here working. I got calls from people all over the state who was like, yo, Grandmaster J wants to work with you because he liked your project, what you're doing, and he wants you to do that for what, in agreement with what he's doing. I honestly was like, yo, it's too public for me, what he's doing, and I got to learn more about the brother. And that was the end of that. No animosity to him or whatever. But I appreciated that the brother actually worked, put himself on the line, the police could have came out there and lit all them dudes up. But they went and put themselves on the line to make people know that there was something that they were pissed off about, and they were willing to show up regarding it. Everyone is not an agent. You just have a lazy, distrustful mind. Kanye West is not crazy. You are just lazy.
Right.
That's it. Because a person, a motivated person looks at a situation and finds what he can benefit, how he can make that situation benefit himself. A negative person looks at a situation and just wants to point out a problem. Albert Einstein said, beware of negative people because they have a problem for every solution. That's what I'm getting from these different agent people.
Mm-hmm. Guys, again, hit that like button. Please hit the like button, everyone. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. If you guys want to call in, I'm going to put the email in the chat room. Again, if you want to call in, if you want to call in, there's the email. If you guys disagree with Brandon, if you agree with Brandon, send me an email. I will send you the link and you can call in. Again, send me an email and I will send you the link and you can call in. Hit that like button.
Dinah,
go ahead.
Dinah, somebody said they didn't get lit up because he's controlled opposition. Opposition against what? Black people are not organized behind doing anything that hurts the United States. Why does the United States need to fight you? You're going to do anything they say. Before the United States sends an agent to you, they're just going to send you a paycheck because they know that mostly they can control you with money. So they're going to take the money they would pay that brother and send you another stimulus check. They can buy you. They don't need to oppose you. That's like saying, my dog is an agent, or my dog is trying to do a mutiny against me in my house. How, when I could get this dude to do whatever I want if I pull out a doggy treat? I control him with a doggy treat. He can never fight against me. This is the mindset of most black people. You onto those doggy treats. You want those. You want that butter biscuit. The white man knows what makes you tick. The fancy jewelry, the cars. Black people all around the country right now committing all types of EDD fraud and everything else. You think the white man don't know what you're doing? He can see you. But he's like, look, we got him right where we want him. We throw something out in front of him, they can't help but grab it. Old monkey trap. Dinah, you want me to tell you what I found ironic? Black people support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right?
Right.
Two people have made their legacy off of throwing black people in jail. While hundreds of us or thousands of us, right, are committing fraud on EDD, we are as a people supporting two people who would love nothing more than to use that to throw our asses in jail en masse to add numbers to the slave class in prison, right? We literally are voting for our own demise. We're doing something that we know can be prosecuted while voting for the two people who have a history or a record of prosecuting us. It doesn't make sense. What we do don't make sense. And instead of people thinking and saying like, okay, this brother Brandon's been saying this for a while. Let me try to put myself in his shoes and see if I can kind of understand the perspective he's come from. Everything is just deflection. Everything is stalling. Oh, let's just dismiss this guy because this guy is X, Y, and Z. See, we're not going to make progress with that type of mindset, Dinah. All opinions matter, and that's what makes you better. Don't kill the messenger. Analyze the message. Take the good. If it apply, let it. If it don't apply, let it fly. Take the meat, leave the fat. You feel me? We don't got that mindset. We're like, no, we would rather be shut off from information, right? Than to at least have the ability to analyze the information and see what information could benefit us.
Mm-hmm. All right, I just sent the link out to an individual. Again, guys, make sure you hit that like button, And once again, if you're watching this, go get the new children's book. It's Libation Time, a children's guide to the ancestors, written by yours truly. Go get the book, everyone. All right, go ahead.
Somebody said, Grandmaster Jay said, all lives matter. Well, guess what? Your actions say all lives matter. Because you ain't go when the police shoot you down, you don't go after the police. When the police shoot you down, you go complain about it for a little while. Then you walk right up in the white man restaurant. You go watch his TV show. This person can go.
Oh, go ahead, Roger.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, Brandon?
It's an echo, like you're in a hallway.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Let me go. Sound a little better over here?
That's a little better. If you can just speak up a little bit.
Okay. So I definitely gotta, there's a lot of things I disagree with Brandon, but I definitely agree with Brandon in regards to one thing I do hate: Negroes who do a lot of talking and don't do nothing to back it up. Like he said, Dinah's got books out here. Everybody should be buying them. That's on code. Doing something that's gonna move us, that's gonna get us out the system that we're currently in. This talking, that's just talking. What are you doing? And that's one thing that I definitely agree with. And that's one of the things that irritates me about Black folks. You do so much damn talking. And when we need you to do something, you're looking for the NFCA. Well, what they doing? What are you doing? Nearly Fuller said, hey, you don't need no leaders. You are your own leader. What are you doing? Lead yourself. Stop waiting for somebody to take you to the promised land. Stop it. Nobody's going to save you besides yourself. So I definitely agree with you on that, Brandon. And another thing I believe, I just came to the realization, 90% of us, we ain't never gonna get on code. We love, but some of us just love the butter biscuits. They're delicious. We just love them. We love them. We don't want to give them up. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. We just keep going back to the same behavior. We're confused. We're lost. We are confused. So that's just one of the things I want to say. Hit the like button too, man. Like it's free. Hit the like button. He said this about 4 or 5 times. Once again, it's just aggravating sometimes dealing with Black folks. It really is. The only reason I can't give up on Black folks is giving up on y'all is giving up on myself. But go ahead. That's one of the things I want to say. If anybody want to interject on that.
Let me read this. Let me read the super chat real quick. Indigenous TV, thank you for the super chat. Tariq said Jay was an agent. Black people ran with it because a large majority of our people are ditto heads, followers who can't think independently. I'll go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, so I was gonna talk about a quote about perfection, right? There's a man who said perfection is a lot of little things done well, right, Dinus? Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people will say there's no such thing as perfection, right? When I was in high school, I used to play football. One of my coaches, his name's Eric Lewis. He played for the Rams. He used to say, there's no such thing as perfection, but be perfect, right? Your life is better pursuing perfection than just accepting that perfection can never be achieved, right? When Roger got on here and talked about taking action, people don't understand that taking action is little things like purchasing Dinah's book to support his platform. You like it, you come watch it, purchase his book, purchase his product, hit the like button. See, when you get on these platforms, you can use these platforms as one of 2 things. You can use it as a source of entertainment, or you can use it for something better, which is you can use it to practice doing a bunch of little things well. You can discipline yourself by watching YouTube. You can say, look, I'm going to be on Johnny's thing. I know he got a show. Let me go ahead of time and like the show. Boom, right? I'm on Johnny's thing. He's talking about the book. Let me go get the information to purchase the book and do that. See, people don't understand that when you do the little things have a big result. It has a collective result. But because every single Black person thinks that there's some type of superhero, like they're going to put that, we all want to be like Kobe, right? Put the whole team on our back, you know what I'm saying, and carry everybody to the promised land. But sometimes we need to be more like LeBron and get everybody involved, and not just getting everybody involved, making sure we show up. I used to run a study group downtown Long Beach, and you know, when I first took it over, the attendance was struggling, right? In 6 years, it had got to the point where only 2 or 3 people were showing up every Thursday night. I took the study group from 2 or 3 people showing up every night to over 30 people showing up every night, to the point where the fire department was coming in on every Thursday, making sure we was practicing the fire safety, making sure you had the chairs arranged a certain way so there's lanes for exit and stuff like that. The way I did that was, and here goes the how-to part, I stopped doing what the people before me were doing, which is complaining about the attendance and bashing the people that they wanted to show up. What I started doing was telling the people who did show up, stop worrying about other people showing up. Just make sure you are here, right? So every time, you always get stragglers who come in, they might not come back next week or whatever. I would press upon them. Yeah, brother, we here every Thursday. Don't worry about, I want to bring my girl through, man. Don't worry about your girl. Make sure you show up. Before you worry about Grandmaster Jay, before you worry about Brandon being negative, before you worry about who's an agent, you need to make sure your stuff is tight. Because a lot of people got their own mental issues that they got to get past. A lot of people got their own trust issues that they got to deal with before they can start to focus on somebody else. But the best way to avoid addressing your own issues is to look at somebody else's issues and use that as an excuse as to why you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
And I wanted to say something right before I got on the phone. Dynas, I wanted to thank you. Thank you. I got a lot of people to thank. Right now, I'm calling you right now. I'm in Ecuador right now, and I'm in Montanitas, Ecuador. On the 23rd, I'm moving to Gambia. I already got my ticket. I'm going over there.
That's what's up.
Last place I'm going. I'm going to be there for the Gambia for 6 months, but my final destination is going to be Abia State, Nigeria.
Okay.
The reason why I'm going to Abia State, Nigeria, I spoke to this negative Nigerian. Negative. I mean, he was so negative. He is from Abia State. The reason why I'm going over there, because I'm going to get it popping in his own backyard.
Right.
I'm going right to his backyard. This guy is about 70, and I want to make, I would go to his grave just to go show him, because he was so negative. I hated so that much about him. I'm like, how could you be from this place, grow up here, your family's here, and, I'm trying to tell you what I'm trying to do, and he's just like, oh, it's so corrupt. But Dynas and Watermeyer, you guys are the reason why I decided I'm going to do this. I mean, if it wasn't for all the information you put out there, because literally I didn't know nothing about the content of Africa. I ain't know nothing. I used to see you there with your little camera out there showing me people and doing out there. I'm like, man. And like I said, I'm going to be there on the 23rd. I don't want to do a cheap plug, but I'm not going to plug anything. I would wait till I get there. But Dynas, really, I do appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. One of the people that I definitely have to run over there to see is Juliet, because once I saw her face on camera and I saw how happy she was when she was over there, I'm like, I gotta get like her. But once again, Dynas, thank you.
You're welcome.
Most people ain't gonna be on code. I'm on code in a mug.
Roger, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
In what way does Grandmaster Jay impact you doing what you're gonna do?
Man, I ain't nobody think about no Grandmaster Jay, man. I'm focused on what I'm trying to do. I can't be in the United States anymore. I haven't been there for the past 5 months. I've been running between Mexico, Panama, Colombia, and now I'm in Ecuador. I can't be there anymore. Is because I got into the point that I'm at that point, like, I'm going to do something. And you get what I'm saying? I'm going to do something. You get what I'm saying? I mean, I got Patrice Lumumba in my arm. I got Malcolm X on my shoulder. I'm ready to do something. I'm not safe there anymore. You get what I'm saying?
You're in the club.
That's why I'm like, I got to get up out of here.
Hey, you're in the club now, Roger. But so it suffices to say that Grandmaster Jay is unimportant. He's irrelevant. So now he's irrelevant to what you're doing. He's irrelevant to what you're trying to do. So why are the people you got people in the comments, why do they feel like they need to bring that guy up every time we talking? Why do they feel like they got to use him as an excuse, as like fodder to throw things? Just because they're going to have something intelligent to say, they got to bring up somebody that they don't even know, who don't impact nothing that they should be doing.
Well, people just look for excuses why to be lazy. They were like, well, if you see, this is why I don't do it, because this person is that, or this is the reason why I don't do it, because that person is that. It has nothing to do with nothing. It has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. I don't care what Grandmaster Jay does. I don't care what anybody does. I'm focused on what I got to do. Nothing of that is going to distract me. You get what I'm saying? So just people, this is just people finding excuses to be lazy. Why not to do something? Why not to move forward? And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Stay in there in this freaking crazy house that is America. You stay here. White folks need somebody to torture while I'm in Africa. You stay here. You stay here.
Guys, if you want to call in, again, if you want to call in, send me an email, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Again, send me an email, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. I will email you the link, and you could come in and ask your question again. If you want to call in, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. If you're in the chat room and you disagree, call in.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Or you do agree, call in. uhuru@searchforwho.com. Send me an email, you can call in. All right, go ahead, bro.
And in regards to the thing on code, every day, I'm a personal trainer. And three questions I ask myself to deem if my day was been a success. One, did I eat the way I said I was going to eat? If that's going to be a simple yes or no. Did I work out that day? Did I budget my money? And did I do something to bring me closer to my goal? If I don't answer those four yeses, my day has been a failure. If you cannot answer, because what did I do today to fight this system of white supremacy? If you can't come up with nothing, you are off code. You are off code. Every day you wake up, there'll be something you got to do. Like you said, YouTube is a learning platform. YouTube, man, the things I have learned on YouTube are amazing. I should have an MD right now of all the stuff that I learned on YouTube. And I'm not capping. That's just a fact. You guys just want to come over here and look at the latest fight videos. How is that helping? You want to waste your time? You females want to watch Love and Hip Hop? How is that helping? And then you wonder why you're so frustrated because you're not introducing your mind to nothing new. You're not introducing to nothing. You're meant to grow. And you're frustrated because the information you're taking in is not helping you grow. There goes your frustration.
Yep. And you know what? What's sad about that situation is, usually they say during the down times when you're feeling down, that's where the growth takes place, right? And a one man asks, are you going through it or are you growing through it? When you're down and you're not growing, that means that there's something wrong that's deeper than just somebody else doing something that's impacting your ability to do what you want to do. We got to learn, when we're down, that's when the growth happens. So we should be looking forward to the down times because we know we're going to grow a little bit. All these hours you put on YouTube, what do you have to show for it? And that's what you're dealing with on YouTube. People get to the point where they've been in a place so long and nothing's good's happening for them. They just become frustrated, right? And so anybody who comes with a little bit of optimism or gives them a little bit of a push in the right direction, telling them, you can do this. All they do, they turn around and they want to attack you. We got to change that about what we do. We got to change the way we operate. Because if you really want progress, all you should be doing every time you show up is like, look, let me get my notepad. Dinah said it himself. He said, man, let me write that down. I'm sitting here with a notepad and a freaking pen, right? Look. See this? This is my notepad. I done already filled up a page and I'm on the next page. Notice how everybody on here talking to you has a notepad because we're going to write things down because we're all learning. Now we can learn together or we can sit up here and play darts where we're the targets and you guys just throw darts at us whenever you hear something you don't want. How does that help you though? We're doing what we want to do. We're manifesting our goals and dreams. How do you move from being just a critic, right, to doing the same thing? There's a man who said, you will, no matter where you go in the world, you will never find a statue of a critic, period. So what do you gain from being on here criticizing? Just learn.
Yeah. And it goes back to that notepad. Again, every day, man, don't leave nothing to your memory. Write these things down. Check them through. It's like, again, you have all this time. The internet has leveled the playing field. The internet has leveled the playing field. Everything you want to learn, everything you want to be, you literally can put it in the search bar and just do it. Now, the will to do it, that's I can't really speak on that. But again, I don't know how you could go without your day without a notepad and a pen and writing things down. Because I get so many ideas, and I'm not gonna lie to you, most of them are crap. But once or two of them, I'm like, that's a good one. Let me go ahead and act on that one. Again, there's no reason why we're in the situation that we are. The only thing that I've concluded is some of us just love misery. We love where you're at. That's the only thing that I can think of. But I'm gonna let this gentleman or that whoever just came in go ahead and get a voice in.
All right, Roger. Hey, we appreciate you, brother, and keep me posted when you get to Nigeria. For sure, brother. Peace.
So the views and opinions expressed by Lou Major do not necessarily reflect.
Lou Major, no, we don't need a disclaimer. We good.
I already pissed everybody off anyway.
Yeah. We
Oh,
good.
really? I mean, I guess are you finally official at 100%, Dennis?
99.1.
Okay, so I'm getting close. Brandon. First things first, Brandon. I gotta tell you, man. I want to start off by saying I don't subscribe to many channels, but I did subscribe to yours. You do put out good content, and I want everybody who is watching right now, go subscribe to this man's channel. He does. It's all about kind of like he's trying to be like his own version of Les Brown. It's very motivational, very inspiring. How to conquer your day. It's good stuff. I would advise if you're going to do that, get some inspirational music to go behind the speech, so it can like have the whole effect that these motivational speeches have. But I think you're doing good stuff, man. Nothing but love. Keep it up.
Thank you.
One of the things that I think we could all agree on is, I was briefly on the last show, but I had some, it was pretty late. I had some things I had to do myself. But one of the things I was trying to bring up is, like, for example, bringing up our brother Phil Scott from last time. Phil, if you watch his content going all the way back, 4 or 5 years ago, the guy wanted to uplift his people. Okay. He wanted to uplift his people. He wanted to bring his people up to a better level. However, one thing that is true, and he was accurate when he said it on his platform, was that every time he would put up something positive, it just wouldn't get the views. Now, to me, obviously, we could all agree that maybe that's an excuse, because that just simply means that the way you're putting things up positive, the way you're expressing that positivity is not engaging enough to your viewer. You need to find different ways to push positivity and get that viewership, because it's possible. It's all about how it's presented. If you look at white media, white people have managed to convince people to hate the oppressed but love the oppressor. So if white people could pull off that feat, surely you could tell an oppressed people positive messages that uplift them and get them to like it. However, we still have to deal with the underlying issue. And Brandon, I'd love to get some feedback from you. Is why do Black people want the filth so much? Why do they want it? Because here's the deal. We could talk all day about the things that we are doing. We could talk all day about opportunities that we're creating for our people. But if we're very, very honest about it, a guy like, you got Dynus. Dynus has got about 81,000 subscribers. There's another guy named Tone Talks who's right behind Dynus. His channel is much younger than Dynus's, and he's close to 80,000. And all this guy does as a Black man is talk shit about other Black people who are doing something. That's it. All he does is tell Black people that they can't do anything, that there's nothing that can be done.
And Lou, if I can interject real quick, what really bothers me about Tone Talks, he complains about everything, how we don't have a lack of, we suffer from a lack of resources. But then on the other hand, he brags on how close he is to Brian Allen, a billionaire.
Right.
So if I was this close to a billionaire, don't you think you should ask the billionaire to invest in whatever you're doing? I mean, I don't know.
Exactly. And because here's the deal about people like that, okay, is and he's part of what I call a batch of exploiters. You got him, you got Yvette Carnell, you got Tariq Nasheed, You've got Derek Jackson for the female side. You've got Cassie for the female side. You got the other black chick who's always complaining about colorism. That's actually really attractive, big lips. I can't remember her name. There's a suite of them. And what they do is they exploit black pain for financial gain. That's what they do. That's how they make their money.
That's the show. That's the show. That's the show. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm gonna write that down. Go ahead.
Okay. And that's their entire business model. And so they have every incentive to keep black people in a state of negativity and self-pity because that's how they make their money. Okay. The question that we have to really figure out, though, is why do black people want to consume that? Okay, like why do they want to consume this self-pitying, self-defeating type of ideology? Why is that? And I'm going to also be direct with you. This is not just unique to Black America. I mean, if you go to Africa, when you talk about the state of some of the states of the country, what do Africans always tell you? Well, it's because of the leaders. The leaders are so corrupt. The leaders are so this. And the reality is most of these African nations are in the democracy. They choose those leaders that are corrupt, but they just blame everything on the leaders. And the issue is we've got to figure out what is causing this self-defeating mentality. Now, with Black America specifically, what's particularly fascinating about Black America is that if a Black person rises up and becomes successful, the people who want to tear that Black person down are other Black people. Like Tyler Perry. I don't agree with how Tyler Perry made these billions. I don't agree with it. But he is a billionaire. And not only that, he's a self-made billionaire. And he did it all through his own community. Okay, he owns everything, right? He got rejected, disrespected by Hollywood. So he built his own Hollywood. He made Atlanta what it is now when it comes to film and movies. And now that he's where he's at, what do you hear other Black people doing? Tearing him down. Because he showed trying to be motivational, showing how hard he works, that he writes all his own scripts. What do you got Black people do? Oh, he ain't hiring script writers. It's this constantness. And Brandon, I'm going to defer to your expertise because you are a Black American. What's wrong with you niggas?
I mean, bro, you brought up Les Brown. You brought up Les Brown, right? So we're going to go back to Les Brown. What does Les Brown say? Les Brown says, if you don't program yourself, life will program you. Meaning,
that's correct.
If you're a person who does not take charge of your life, your experience will then dictate what your life is or is not.
I got to write that down too. Go ahead.
So if you realize that Black people spend so much time trying to straddle the fence ideologically, right? We are non-committal. We don't want to choose a side. What does the old cliche say? If you stand for nothing, you will fall for everything. That's correct. What we've been dragged into. We went from the 90s, Black love, listening to the 90s R&B, talking about how much we love each other, watching stuff like Boomerang and Mo Money, with showing Black men falling in love with Black women, going crazy for them, to I don't give a F about a B, and these hoes ain't nothing, and blah, 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 and these N words ain't this and that. Well, guess what? We spent so much time on the fence not standing up for anything when they tried to take it away. Now we've been totally brainwashed into exactly the mindset that white supremacy wants us to be in. We've been programmed to lust for negativity. We've been programmed.
Let me ask you something, Brent. Let me ask you something. When I look at Black America, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, people, I've been told multiple times, you're Haitian, you're not ADOS, so you can't speak like you're ADOS. So I'm going to go ahead and play the role of the outsider for the sake of conversation today. When I look at Black America specifically, from an outsider's perspective, here's what I actually see. I actually see a group of people that are actually very conservative by nature in terms of our social belief systems.
Facts.
But now what I also see is because we insist on being in a dependent position on people and on waiting for somebody to give us something, it allows us to have ideas and things imposed on us. Like, why does Hollywood seem to always find a nigga willing to play a gay person on TV to try to normalize homosexuality in the black community? Well, because there's a list of black people who are willing to do that.
Right.
Right.
They always sneak something in.
Now, what I actually believe that black people in America might want to do is, I think a lot of the problems with black America stems from, honest to God, a couple of things: who educates your children, who feeds you, and where you live. And I believe that people always talk about solutions. I got some. Now, my solution straight up is that you disconnect from America and you go to Africa. But let's just say you don't want to do that, because really we don't need all these Negroes and Africa. You would be no use there because you're no use here. But what we could do is, why don't black people move out of the cities? Why don't black people, for example, instead of living in Southside Chicago, why don't black people buy all that cheap land in Illinois outside of Chicago and just build their own communities and grow their own food and educate their own kids and just live self-sufficient lives? Now you're not getting harassed by no police. You don't have to worry about your kid getting shot up in the street. You could make sure they're getting a quality education, and you could own all your own stuff because the land out there is real cheap. One family could easily buy a few acres and build themselves a few houses on and create a compound. Why don't black people just simply move to a more rural, self-sufficient life and get out of the cities and stop being and just looking for their own self-sufficiency? Like, why won't black people do that? Like, for example, why do black people insist in living in these decrepit, unfinanced communities and send their kids to these shitty schools to be educated by white people? Why won't black people just educate their kids themselves? Or why won't black people just grow their own food? Or why won't they just buy some cheap land and build a modest cabin on it? Like, why consistently live in these conditions when you could easily, and we're not even talking about something difficult, black people could easily walk away from these circumstances anytime they wanted to. Nobody wants to live. Why? Talk to me, Brandon.
Dinus, look, wait, you got to bring on Rosie Daniel Houston.
Okay, guys, if you want to call, so number one, guys, we're almost at 300 people watching. Please hit that like button. If you have not hit the like button, hit that like button, you guys. Hit the like button. And if you guys want to call in, send me an email, Uhuru@searchforUhuru.com. The email's in the chat room. Send me an email, and I will send you the link. I'll go ahead.
Hey, you got.
Now, again, I want to go ahead and respond to a few things. No, I'm not bashing black people in this case at all. Brandon, have I said anything negative about black people? No.
All encouraging.
Guidance, have I said anything bad about black people?
No. So that's why. So we're at 99.2% right now.
In this case, I'm not bashing. I'm actually asking why. Because living in the cities, you are under. That's what allows the police to be up in your community, to terrorize you and terrorize your kids. You have to pay these high rents that are unaffordable anyway. You've got to eat the shitty food that is bad for your health. Why not? If you're not going to leave America, okay, I'm not even saying you have to leave America, but why not just leave the cities? Go out to the country, go to the mountains, and grow your own food and educate your own kids and build your own houses and be away from these white folks who want to kill you. Like, why insist in staying in those conditions? I really want to know. I'm not even trying to bring anybody down. Like, I believe black people should be very rural. I believe when you look at black history and you look at all the shit that black people have gone through, and it is a lot, okay? I am very much surprised at this point that black people don't have the mindset of, I don't want anything from white people. And if white people offer me something, black people should immediately be met with immediate suspicion. Like, what do you really want? Instead of, why would black people want to integrate with white people? Why would they want to send them kids to their schools or live in their communities? Like, I just want to understand why. Why would you trust white people to feed you or give you adequate water or to educate your kids? Like, why? I just want to know. And so, Brandon, you're a smart Black American. Explain that to me.
I mean, the reality is that you said it all. What every leader has to first decide one thing. What do the people want? You can only truly lead people towards what they desire. This is one thing people don't understand about leadership. The leader doesn't lead people where he wants them to go. He leads people, they outline or define where they want to go, and then he lays a plan to get them there, right? So here's the thing. Black people want to be accepted by white people. In order to be accepted by white people, they feel they have to stay in what? Close proximity physically to white people. White people have convinced Black people that if you just stay right up under our nuts, be good little darkies, don't cause no trouble now, eventually we will give you the same status in our society as we enjoy. Black people believe that. So the biggest, most important thing to white people, Black people, is being accepted by white people. You just mentioned Tone Talks. What is Tone Talks platform other than a grown Black man complaining about why a white man won't accept him into his society? That is the entire premise of the ADOS movement. You need
All right,
to.
I got to make a quick response. I got this person KK, CEO DNP. Wait, I already know what's coming on this one. Just wait 1 second. Let me go ahead and respond to KK, which is the whole Black folks ain't got no money trope. Okay, so not here. I'm actually gonna present facts here. I'm trying to take a different approach. I'm gonna see if it works. It might not. Let's go with Chicago, Illinois. If you go 1 hour outside of Chicago, 1 hour outside of Chicago, land there goes for about $300 per acre. Okay, same price out in Texas as well, by the way. And in some places in the United States, you could get land for as low as $200, $250 an acre. Now, listen, even if you made now the average Black man in America makes about $46,000 a year, give or take $1 or $2. Okay, you can't tell me you can't go ahead and get a group of people together to go ahead and buy 50 acres outside of Chicago, an hour outside of Chicago, and just pool your money together and buy that cash. That's a lie. And even if you couldn't buy it cash, most people on raw land, and I know this is the case all over the world, but certainly in the United States, will do a land contract with you. Meaning, if you come in, if they have, say, 50 acres of land at $300 per acre, and you say to them, look, I could give you 20% of that, give me 5 years to pay for it. Most people on raw land will make the deal with you. So you cannot tell me that you can't do that. That's not true. That's like a lie. And once you're an hour outside of city limits, you could have chickens. You could drill for well water. You could grow your own food. Illinois land is actually quite fertile. They got a good 6-month growing season. So you can't say to me that you can't do that. Like that's not something you can say you can't do. Like that's just not true. That's a lie. Right now, rents in even the inner city of Chicago. I'm using Chicago for a very specific reason. Rents there is on average is $1,300 to $1,400 for a 3-bedroom. So you, for the same amount you pay in rent in Chicago, you could buy like 4 acres of land, cash. So every month you're giving the landlord 4 acres of land that you could buy for yourself and not have to deal with police harassment. You could just educate your own kids. I know that's harder, but you could educate them. What I really want to know is, instead of telling me how it's hard and the struggle and all of that stuff, why don't you tell me why you won't do something for yourself?
Here we go, Lou Major, real quick. You know what? Black people have a struggle fetish. That's part of it. We have a struggle fetish.
I mean, here's the deal. If that's the case, you need to think about the implications of what you just said, Dinus, because if you're saying to me that they have a struggle fetish, which is fine, then that means your struggle fetish supersedes your love for your own children.
Yeah.
What that really means, what you're really saying is black people don't love their own kids. That's what you're really saying without knowing it, because and one could make that argument, considering that black women abort 1,000 black babies a day. And I've aborted over 16 million black children have been murdered by their own mothers before they ever came out of the womb.
Well, hold on. Well, Brandon, let CEO DMP go ahead, bro.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you gotta speak up.
All right, so I got like 2 points. One, I wanted to speak on the code of conduct. For instance, like when you talk about people not coming into your chat, not hitting the like button. So you conduct your business and you realize things aren't working right. You want people to hit the like button. It supports the channel. It promotes the channel and its growth and development. You want people to hit the likes button. So you establish a code. From now on, when you guys enter into the chat room, the code or the law is hit the chat. Now, at that point in time, nobody's abiding by that code. But the people who actually support you and deal with you will slowly start to adapt that code, and it will change the dynamics of your business. That's why we establish codes. We realize that we're conducting ourselves in a certain way. When we speak of code, that's what we're talking about, a code of conduct. You establish a code of conduct in order to alter a mode of conduct, in order to control the behavior of a population. So you establish the code, hit the like button. Sooner or later, people who really support your channel will start to hit the like button. And after a while, everybody will abide by that code, and you won't have to ask nobody, because everybody will have adapted and changed their behavior to where they know when I tune in, hit the like button. Second of all, duality. The problem with the negativity is it's like a lot of brothers aren't technical. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have solutions, or you don't know how to generate or devise strategies, those are the type of people you hear always focusing on the problems. They're the people who don't know how to develop the solutions. When you continue to harp on the problem, anybody with logic understands that. Have you ever heard of a decision-making process or a problem-solving process? Defining and identifying the problem is just the first step. Once you identify these problems, you're not supposed to sit there and just harp on the problems. Keep on repeating the problems, because you then start to make a small problem appear as if it's this big giant of an issue, when really it's not. It's simple, root cause, get down to it. Now start developing solutions. So our people are getting to a point where social media, as it started, everybody came out and made a platform for themselves by identifying and harping on the problems. In the beginning, it was all good. We were hearing different content, different views and everything. But the problem is all those problem mongers have gotten to a point where they have exhausted the problem, and they don't have no solutions. So they can't do nothing but keep on talking about the problems. So what they need to do is let the other side of the coin start to appear, start to manifest. You guys deal with the problems. Now you need to start inviting the STEM, the scientific, the technical, the engineers, the specialists, those who know how to devise and develop systems and solutions. Let them come in to start bringing forth alternative scenarios, alternative courses of action, solutions to the problems that y'all keep harping on. It gets annoying because we can't grow. And it's duality. You guys focus so much on the negative, but everything you're saying negative, you can also look at Black social media and find a lot of positive content creators out there and see that they have a lot of people viewing and liking their channels. But you choose to focus on the negative stuff. You choose to talk about the negative stuff, just like the news doesn't want to talk about all the Black people who are graduating, all the Black people who are starting businesses. They want to talk about the niggas acting the fool in the streets. They choose to look at that because people love the mess. It gets more views. It gets more likes. It's controversial.
All right, CEO, let me throw a thought at you, okay?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'm not going to talk about any Black issues today. I'm not, okay? What I am going to talk about is I'm coming here more so on a desire to actually, at this point, maybe get an education from your perspective. So, CEO, let me ask you something. Here's a solution. Black people right now are constantly getting murdered in the street by the police. Black communities are over-policed. Black kids are not being properly educated in public schools. Are these three things true? Yes or no?
Man, I'm not gonna say for sure, but I agree with you. I think it sounds right.
Okay, Brandon, are these three things true? Yes or no?
Factual.
Dinas, are these three things that I just said true? Yes or no?
Yes, they are.
Okay, now let's add one more thing in there. Black people tend to have poor diet, tend to eat food with lots of chemicals and preservatives, which leads to the fact that, for example, and in the case of our women, 80% of our women are overweight. In the case of our men, we tend to die younger than everybody else. The average age of black male death is that of a third world country, which is 67. Right? So that means we have a high stress lifestyle with poor diet, which means poor health. And that would make sense if you live in an environment where it's overly policed, your kids aren't getting educated, and you have minimal resources, and you're living in food deserts where there's not a lot of quality fruits and vegetables around. And so all of these things are causing black people to, because they're just in this constant rabbit wheel, they can't even necessarily think to be able to figure out what they can and cannot do. What the CEO DMP, would you agree that what I just said is an issue for a lot of black people? Maybe not all, because I know there's going to be somebody on the well, I'm not like that. I don't care. I'm talking about the normal black person. Would you say that that's probably the life of the normal black person in America?
I believe that's an issue that we do have to address. It's real.
Okay.
But what's your point, though?
Now, I'm not going to, again, I'm not saying black people are at fault for this or nothing. But what I am saying is my solution to that is, my first and primary solution is, I think black people should make an exodus to Africa. However, realistically, we all know that, as you said yourself, was born in 82. I ain't got a connection to Africa, yada, yada, yada. All right, fine. All right, no problem. Well, my question for you is, why won't black people en masse just simply leave the cities? Why not take the money that you have, buy land that nobody wants, that's pretty cheap outside of the city, between 45 minutes to an hour and a half outside of the cities. And right now with prefab technology, prefab means a prefabricated house. You could buy a prefabricated house and have that joint built on your property with 3 people in 5 days for less than $15,000. And I'm talking a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on a concrete foundational slab, legitimately nice house. Right? And so that means you could have it for cash money, meaning you don't owe the white man nothing. You own the land, you own the house on it, and then you could just grow your own food and homeschool your kids. Because if you own your house outright, then your wife or wives, depending on your lifestyle mindset, doesn't have to work now. She could go ahead and homeschool your kids, and then your kids, you don't have to worry about some police officers. Why won't black people do that?
Because the example has not been laid down before them to make them comfortable with making that transition from their regular lifestyles, their regular way of living, to something that is different. Before that happens, most of the people are blind, deaf, and dumb. Most of the people are followers. It first takes someone or a group of people to go out, establish the type of lifestyle that you're talking about, show that it is feasible, show that they can succeed doing that, and then start to bring people over from the other side into that gradually. Nobody is doing that. Nobody is really showing that we can go out here, establish a colony, establish a small settlement. It works. We will thrive. We will succeed. You will not lose anything that you are accustomed to or used to or dependent upon, and it will work out. So what needs to happen is people like you or people who have that idea need to go and actually lead by example and show that that's feasible, and then come to the people and say, look, we did it. It works. Try it out. Come visit us for 3 months. Create an actual plan, a strategy. You didn't give a solution. You gave a general idea. A solution actually solves a problem. You didn't tell people once they get out to that land, how will they get water? How will they do electricity? The people need to see that. They need to have a plan. Just like if you want a business loan, you can't come in there and say, well, I got a general idea. I'm going to sell this or sell that. They need to see a plan, a mission statement, a vision statement, executive summary, a marketing analysis. They need to see that it is
CEO, I got your point. Just let me let me say, okay, you know, I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
The point I'm
No,
trying
no,
to make is that
I actually
everybody
got it.
easily
Like,
wants to say it, but they don't want to do it and lead by example, so that the people
no.
will feel comfortable
CEO,
with
I'm
coming
agreeing
that way.
with you. I'm not. You don't have to continue to reemphasize the point because we're in agreement. So here's my next question for you, then, brother. Okay, so I know for a fact, and Dynas, you correct me if I'm wrong, that you have highlighted people, Black Americans in Africa, doing extremely well. Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
I have.
You shown them living in big houses, mansions, running businesses, living really well. Am I right? Like Black Americans who lived in America, went there, and are now living really well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I've also seen Watermeyer highlight a myriad of Black Americans who've gone to Ghana and are doing
I
really
get your
well.
point, bro.
Okay. So here's the thing, CEO. You're saying to me that Black people need to see an example of someone doing it.
A working, actual, practical demonstration. They need
Okay,
to
but
be
but
shown
Black
that it's
people
feasible and
presented
it'll
that
work.
though.
You have to
CEO,
accept the people as they are, bro. Not everybody is a pioneer
I'm
or a trailblazer.
I'm not saying that they are. You don't have to reemphasize the point you just said. I understood your point. What I'm saying to you is Black folks have done that, meaning that they have gone and they did the pioneer work, made their way, became
Right,
successful.
bro. Right.
Dynasty with a huge platform. Wait, brother, wait. I'm saying Dynasty, not just Dynasty, but folks, not a whole bunch of people have with big platforms have said, hey, look at these Black Americans, for example, in Africa, doing really, really well. And yet,
Can I
here's what
respond real quick to that?
no, CEO, let me get this out and it's all yours. What I've seen happen, now you could tell me if I'm missing something. What I've seen happen is other Black folks.
Hold on, one second, Major. Hey, Miss Rosie, you got to turn down your background noise or your TV or whatever you got going, Miss Rosie. You got to turn it down.
I don't have anything on. I have nothing on but the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
Brandon, is that you?
Let me get the title and start work.
That's not
Okay, so somebody's watching the playback.
It was definitely
Oh,
not
I
me.
understand. Okay.
Yeah,
What I'm
that's
saying,
Miss Rosie.
CEO, what I have seen, what I have
There it is.
personally seen
Thank
when I've
you.
watched this, is other Black people, instead when those demonstrations are
I got it.
presented,
Thank you.
what I have seen is other Black people intentionally seek to tear that person down and call that person all types of names, etc., just trying to get people's money.
You're breaking up, bro. I'm not really getting you, man.
So what I'm saying is, if it's really just a matter of a demonstration, we've already got the demonstrations. Pastor Dow, who I think is interesting, man. I'm not going to call him bad, but I'm going to call him interesting.
Multiple examples. I got your point, bro.
Right. I mean, the idea of living out in the country and building your own houses, Pastor Dow of Straight Away Ministries, again, I call him an interesting man.
Hey, there's
He's
like a,
already doing it.
I don't know, there's some feedback that's coming back.
somebody eating chips or
Yeah,
something.
like it's like somebody's eating chips or like I don't know what it is. It's like it's a feedback or something. That's
I don't know who it is, brother. It's not me. But what I'm saying is, the example of living out in the country and getting out of the city, Pastor Dow is already doing that. I think he's got 150,000 subscribers.
yeah, that's
Now,
CEO. Hold on, Lou Major. CEO, that's the feedback's coming from you, bro. All right, go ahead, Lou Major.
Right? So what I'm saying to you is, you ask for examples, I have shown that. But what I've seen with people with Pastor Dow, I could put in Pastor Dow's name right now on YouTube. I'll find 30 videos of people talking shit about Pastor Dow, other Black folks. I could go ahead and put any Black person's name who's doing something in Africa in YouTube right now, and you'll see a myriad of people just talking shit about him and trying to tell people not to listen to him. So what I've actually seen is when the Black pioneers go out and do stuff, other Black people seek to tear him or her down rather than following them. Now, that's not all, but it is most. It's substantial enough that it actually has an effect. So my statement is to you, what I say to you, Mr. CEO, is what you're saying does not appear to be true. Because this example of leaving the cities, I didn't come up with it. I didn't create that. Somebody else did. And it has done it and has found success
Hey,
about it.
CEO, you got
Turned
like
out.
the CEO sounds like you're eating chips, or you got a bunch of feedback.
Nah,
I don't
bro,
know.
I hear what they saying. I just turned myself off to check and see if it was mine, but I really don't know what it is, bro. I'm on a good device and
No.
everything. Hitting
I
it
mean,
as fast as I don't know what it is.
back to you and Rosie because
Well,
I don't think
let
solutions
CEO
will do
answer.
it.
CEO, go ahead and answer.
Look, this is what I'm saying. Like in the statement that he's just made, he once again he kind of overgeneralized. That's one issue and a greater issue. You also got the fact that a lot of people don't want to leave their kids or their children. You got people who just don't have an interest in going to Africa. You got people who, just like you said, there's example of people are going to Africa and succeeding. Well, at the same time, there's plenty of examples of people in America succeeding. So what's the real reason to go, the purpose to go to Africa and rather and leave America? If you're saying people are going to Africa and succeeding, well, people are staying in America and succeeding. If you know what I'm saying, there's really no cause to go. What's the real purpose? Just like you said, you don't want people coming over there who don't have nothing to contribute. You're just coming over there to get away from America. So when you push,
CEO, bro, let me interject, bro. Did you hear him use it? Now, Lou Major, did you use an example of a brother in Dallas? Lou Major? Lou Major.
I mean, I did, but I had thought of it. I used Pastor Dow, which straight away made us think he's a black dude lives in North Carolina,
Where's Pastor Dow located?
South Carolina.
Okay, so
I mean, I
CEO,
believe
you
he
use an
and
example
like
of a
I'm
brother
about
a
in
to
group
South
of
stop
black
connecting.
Carolina.
folks.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. What's
Can
going
I
on?
address this?
Well, hold on. Let the CEO answer, and then we'll pass it to Rosie. But he just used an example of a brother in South Carolina. Go ahead,
Right.
CEO.
All I'm saying is when you talk to black people, it's like if you're trying to talk to a particular target market and convince them to give up a product that's working for them, or they don't see it's broken. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Some people, maybe we're tough skinned. Maybe we're just used to the abuse, whatever you want to say. Some people really just don't see no reason in leaving America. We're fine here. I'm one, for example.
CEO, brother. He used an example of a brother in South Carolina, United States of America. Okay, continue.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now
So
you
CEO,
know.
let me repeat it, and that way you can hear it. Okay. I'm saying personally, my view is very clear. I say get out and go to Africa, but I'm talking to the people who are saying I'm not leaving America. Okay, fine, don't leave America, but could you at least leave the city and then create and start homesteading, growing your own food, protecting your own, educating your own kids? Like, why can't you at least do something for yourself? And you can't say there's no examples because I just said Pastor Dowd is a black man he lives in South Carolina. He took a group of black folks. He moved out to the country in South Carolina. They bought a bunch of land. They all have houses out there, little houses that they live in. They all got guns. They grow their own food. They're completely self-sufficient. And he's out here telling people he's got 150,000 subscribers. Okay, now I don't agree with all of his views, but I will use him as an example. He went out there, he didn't know how to, he'll tell you he didn't know how to build a house, he didn't know how to use a hammer, he didn't know how to do any of that, but he learned and he worked his ass off. Now he's got an entire community. And you could put Pastor Dow's name in YouTube right now, and all you're gonna get is a whole bunch of other black people who are just gonna talk shit about him, saying he's running a cult, saying that
I knew that was gonna come. He's a cult. He's a cult.
Well, he's a this, he's a that. But, so what I'm saying to you is like, what? I'm really not trying to. But it's like it seems like when it comes down to doing something for yourself, okay. But if I wanna make money off of black people right now, you know what I would do? I'd start a YouTube channel and tell black people that it's not your fault and somebody owes you something, and that one day you're gonna get what's coming to you. Just keep doing what you do. Because that seems to be the only thing that people want to hear about. Because when we start talking about solutions, you hear, "Well, I need somebody to prove it." Then when somebody actually does it and proves it, then what happens is we try to tear that person down.
All right. Let's CEO. Go ahead and respond, CEO.
All right. First of all, you still hearing all the noise, the static.
It's just go ahead. We'll go ahead. Just go.
All right. So my thing is right then and there. It's kind of deceptive because you're choosing to identify or focus on or target that percentage of the population who have responded negatively. But I guarantee you have not compiled a list of the people who are supporting that brother who's doing that. You choosing to identify that few who responded negatively, making it seem as if all Black Americans are responding negatively. And I guarantee you that brother is receiving a lot of support from African Americans, but you're not going to talk about that. Just like news, you're not going to talk about the positive cases. You're gonna take the negative case where somebody responded negatively to this brother and try to generalize and say this is the African American response to people who have ideas, who are doing things like this brother. Simply not true. So it's hard to respond to that because it's not really a real perspective. It's not really a real view.
Man, CEO, bro, hold on, Brad, hold on, CEO, bro, you are a struggle, you have a struggle fetish, brother. You are a misery merchant, CEO. Oh my God, you are a misery merchant. You are a misery merchant, brother. I mean,
where's my struggle fetish?
I don't think he's a misery merchant. Can you mute your mic real quick? I want to just address what you said.
You can't even explain that.
I don't even think he's a misery merchant. What I think he's doing, he's an optimist, but he's a person who's a little bit deluded, right? But he thinks that no one has ever outlined things in a certain way to Black people that is conducive to them doing what they have to do. Not realizing that for centuries, Booker T. Washington, Marcus Garvey, all these people, they built entire brother.
But Brandon, per CEO DMP, and this is why he's a misery merchant. I'm gonna call it the way it is. I brought up Marcus Garvey. I brought up Liberia. I brought up Marcus Garvey. I mean, you just brought up Booker T. Washington, who built him and George Washington Carver built
institutions
out of trash,
designed out of nothing.
But per CEO, that doesn't count because it was back then.
Listen, so people have built institutions about Black
people. Real low integrity, bro. This is real low in integrity.
Let me just finish.
There are so many.
CEO.
Look at Black Enterprise magazine. There are many cases of Black people in America today starting organizations, building institutions, trying to advance our situation, man. Y'all, that's low intent.
Let me say this.
Type of, like that. You got to improve on your integrity, bro. All I do is help my people. I develop.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead. Hold on. Luke Major. Please have
I think this went over your head. Hold on, CEO. No, CEO. Hold on. I think this went over your head. CEO, hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta mute you, man. I gotta mute you, brother. I think this went completely over your head. Your argument with Lou Major is that there aren't any examples. He doesn't give any examples of Black Americans doing well or doing for self here in America. That was your argument. Lou Major just gave you an example, and you're still being a misery merchant.
Let me just address this real quick.
Go ahead, man. Because
let me address it. Mute your mic for me because it's feedback. Oh, okay. I don't think CEO is a misery merchant.
He's a misery merchant, Brandon.
Wait. I believe that he's just a person who's operating based on anecdotal evidence, and maybe he doesn't know the history. Some people just don't know the history, and a lot of people are optimistic, but to a fault. So what I do is I refer them back to our I'm gonna give him the answer straight drop why Black people in America are never going to do what he thinks they can do. Dr. Amos Wilson said that Black people used to be ruled by the power of coercion, where someone would attack you or hurt you if you didn't do what they wanted you to do. Dr. Amos Wilson said now Black people are ruled by the power of influence. Blue Major, can you mute your mic? The power of influence is where white people make you believe that you need the things that they produce to be happy, right? So now our people, CEO, believe that the only way they can be happy is if they go out and acquire the things white people produce. My little sister just bought a YSL purse. Hold on, let me finish, brother. You gotta be silent long enough to get the message. My little sister just went out and bought a YSL East Saint Laurent bag for $3,000, but her kids need new shoes. When I told her, why would you spend 3 racks on a purse when your children basically need shoes and clothes because they outgrowing them, right, rapidly, right? As a person who buys them clothes and whatnot, she told me, I saw this bag and I just had to have it, right? Why do you think she felt like that? Because she's watched the commercials and been influenced into thinking that in order for her to be happy, she needs to go spend money that she doesn't have to gain something that white people create. So Pastor Dow and all the people who you're saying aren't smart enough, because that's what you're starting. They're just not intelligent enough, Brandon. They just can't, they don't know how to explain it to Black people in a way that will make Black people want to go out and do what they should do for themselves, right? It's impossible to make a bunch of people do something when they are governed and ruled mentally by another race telling them that they need things that race create. Black people, and this is why we do what we do. And can you please mute? Because you
Hey, you got to mute, brother. It's like you're dragging your mic
I'll let y'all talk. Black people, right? This is why we say what we say, brother. We're not being negative. This is why we do what we do. Black people want to constantly remind everybody of what's being done to them, right? That they don't like, but they refuse to acknowledge the role that they play in what's being done to them, right?
Exactly.
So they keep telling me to march. You telling me stop talking about this, talking like this. Well, tell your people, the people you defended who are going to get it if I explain it right, tell them to stop telling me I need to go march and help them fight the white man in the street and need to go protest to further their situation. Because when I give them a solution that doesn't involve doing what the white man tells them, the white man say march, niggas go march. They're taking the cues from the white man, but blaming me and us for the results. You have to understand, you brought up a job or whatever. Even if you go to a job and there's a code of conduct, CEO, as a CEO, you know this, I have employees too. You first sign an oath saying that you would uphold the code of conduct. And if you don't uphold the code of conduct, there are repercussions for that. You get fired. Black people, we cannot do anything for Black people that you're talking about because we have no way to hold people accountable for not honoring the code of conduct, even if we establish one, right? Plans like what we're doing need people. So what we do is we do like what Jesus said. We go out into the crowd and we fish for people who are willing to come into our school of thought and support our plans. You got to do that.
But Brandon, I listen. I hear everything you're saying, but
hey, brother Lou Major, I really want to. Sister Rosie, I want to.
Go ahead, Rose.
Is that? I'm sorry, Lou Major. Sister Rosie, go ahead.
No, thank you so much. Can you guys hear me? Just nod or say something.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay,
Go
good,
ahead.
very good. Okay, first of all, I'm old school, and I have been following you guys for quite some time now. And congratulations on having this forum for us. Brandon is absolutely correct. Everything that he is spilling out today is correct. But unfortunately, we as Black people continue to have this lackadaisical, illiterate mentality, slave mentality. And until we unplug from the matrix, we will continue to go around this same mountain for another 400 years. And all of this talking and fighting and talking is getting us nowhere. Marching is getting us nowhere. This is the same stuff that we've been doing since I was a little girl out there on the streets. I'm when I say old school, I'm in my 60s. I'm sick of this stuff. I have purchased my ticket. We are headed to Africa. But let me tell you what we are doing, because I want to place some positive stuff into this conversation. The company that my husband and I have, we're making some major changes. We now have green technology that can take your waste and turn it into electricity. The Ghanaian government has summoned us to come there and introduce this technology that is currently being used in Afghanistan by the US Army. So when we hit Africa, we're springboarding all over Africa to bring this electricity, this and killing two birds with one stone. That's one project. The second project is that we have a water desalination system that we can pull the water from the ocean, clean it up, and then distribute it. So if anyone that sits and say, "Oh, Africa is this and oh, Africa is that," unless you have an entrepreneurial spirit, go ahead and keep your behind here because we need people that's going to come over and not be lazy and want to do something better for the continent. Because if we don't, China will. If we don't, France will. If we don't, Britain will. And the reason why we don't have a voice here is because our home, which is Africa, and for those who say I'm not African, yes, you are. It doesn't matter where the tree is planted, it's still a tree. Okay. So you are still Africa. And until Africa rises and wakes up, we're going to continue to be treated like crap here in the United States. And so to those people, I also want to address those people that pull their resources together and is now starting their own community. I have three words for them: Black Wall Street. So don't get too happy and too comfortable because when the white people realize what you're doing and how you're doing it and what you're doing, don't think that there is nothing that white people cannot take from you as long as you reside in the United States. Don't ever get too comfortable. You can have your own business, they can take it. You can have your own land, they can take it. They can take anything that they want from here. CEO and to Lou Major, I implore you, stop this fighting amongst ourselves. Gather up your passports, do whatever it is you need to do, and leave. There is nothing that they cannot take.
Sister, if I can interject. So Lou Major is on the Africa's the end game. He just
very
wanted
good.
to
I'm
play.
sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. He just wanted to play devil's advocate for those who want to build here in America.
You guys live in Africa.
Well, let me say it in another way, Rosie. My whole entire position is very, 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 very clear, which is, if you want to honestly know what my worldview is and how I honestly think, is that I believe that Black people shouldn't care about reparations in the sense that you should want it, sure, but your goal should be that you become so wealthy as a group that if somebody offers you reparations, the money would be almost irrelevant to you, right? And I think this concept where I hear a lot of Black folks kind of sitting around saying, we want our reparations, but you're not necessarily willing to do anything for said reparations, I have a really hard time understanding that. And then another thing, I'm going to actually say something to you, Rosie, which and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but a lot of this thought of, well, these white folks, they can take whatever they want from you here in America, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you, the reason that Black Wall Street got taken is because the people who are living there in Tulsa, just like Rosewood, did not have the capacity or the will to defend it. So here's what I mean by that. If, for example, every single person on Black Wall Street, especially the men, were well armed, when those angry white men came into Wall Street, that would have been a full-blown war. Now, I'm not saying they wouldn't have lost, but what I'm saying is it would have been a situation whereby those white folks would have to honestly think, am I really willing to lose my life to burn down this community? Because you might burn it down, but a lot of you are going to get killed first. Because here's the deal. The same way they burned down Black Wall Street, if you understand how many Chinatowns have been burnt down in America, for every one Black Wall Street, there's probably 20 Chinatowns that got destroyed by white folks. Here's the difference between the Chinese, though, and Black folks. You burn down Chinatown, they just go build another one. And then if you go into Chinatown, you better be prepared to go all the way because they will fight you back. So my whole position is, if black folks were to leave the cities, if for one thing, let's say you don't want to go to the US, to Africa where you belong. I understand that not everybody's gonna go. Okay, fine. Let's just say that. Okay, I can't convince you to leave the country. But why would you stay in a city where you are clearly in a vulnerable position and you're completely dependent on people to feed you, provide you with water, electricity, and to educate your kids? Why would you not go ahead and leave the cities and create your own communities and educate your own kids and grow your own food and do your own thing and be very heavily armed? Because I can tell you this much: if somebody tries to go to Pastor Dowd's compound with his people, that's going to be that is going to be a difficult situation. This guy's got M4s, M16s. He's got at least 15 AR-15s with the carbines. This guy's loaded. So if you want to come into his community, that you better be ready to go all the way, because he's going to go all the way. At least. Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm saying, if you're not going to go to Africa, can't you at least just leave the city so your kids don't get shot by police?
What makes you think that they're not going to come out there and shoot them out there? I mean, you can be heavily armed, yes, indeed. But if they can come through with an airplane and bomb you down, and you don't even know that it hit you.
Rosie,
put your children in that situation.
Rosie, listen to this. Let me tell all y'all something real quick. Let me tell you this right quick, and I want every black person in the chat who keeps talking about Lou Major, they have bombs too. In 1945, the United States government dropped 2 atomic bombs on the island of Japan, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Japanese did not leave. The white man left. If you go to Japan today, they're not even going to bring that up. They dominate Japan. If black people want anything, they're going to have to realize, like Nipsey Hussle said, there's a risk and there's a reward. If you're not willing to take the risk, stop telling people that they're not explaining it to you good enough. Black people, like I said in that comment right there, black people say,
let me make a comment real quick, man.
Go ahead.
Let me make a comment, man. So, cause like Don asked, man, with all due respect, man, you got to up your integrity, bro. Like, but I'm not even gonna get on that because it's your show. But I'm just gonna say my little 5 minutes.
No. Let's go there. No, bro. Let's go there.
After I say my comments, man, maybe I'll email and let you know about yourself. But right now is not the time. I'm gonna make this little comment.
No. No, brother. It's my show.
I really want to know.
Hold on, Brandon. Let's go there. Let's go there. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna make my comment like I said. You know what I'm saying? I originally came out from Kansas City. I did work out in Kansas City on the ground, Wyandotte County. You know what I'm saying? All over the ground. Now, if you actually on the ground, if you actually grassroots, if you actually got your boots on the ground or in any, in Wyandotte County and Kansas City, there are so many black organizations and institutions set up, but they're not advertised on social media. They're not advertised on the news, but they are there.
Let me just finish talking in circles, bro. No. Hold on, man. Hold on. CEO. What are you trying to accomplish? No. What are you trying to accomplish? You are talking in circles.
I'm
first
not
it went no, hold on, CEO, hold on.
First it went listening, bro.
No,
because
CEO, hold on, brother. You on my platform, bro. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
God, dude's
brother, no, like hold on. Your argument was there wasn't examples of black people in America being self-sufficient in building. Lou Major
was not the only factor into this.
Now you're talking in circles.
That was not the
sole you gotta go, bro. You gotta go, man. You gotta unsubscribe, man. Go for it. I can't take it, man. I can't take it, bro.
Okay, look, I'm just saying, listen, man, I get that there are a lot of black folks, and look, man, there's a surprising only 10% of black people even have passports. So there's a lot of black folks who they're just not gonna go to Africa. And I get that. I really do. I think it's stupid, but I get it. But what I am saying is, if you're not gonna go to Africa, but God damn it, man, I just don't understand why you won't do anything. I don't understand that. I'm sorry, I can't understand that.
They're not gonna fight the white man. but they not gonna go to Africa. Soon as you tell them, well, bro, if the white man gonna destroy what you built, they say, look, we need to build in America, forget Africa. Then when you say, okay, brother, let's go build. Oh, but what? Remember Black Wall Street? And then when you say, bro, we can get guns and defend this time, but they drop bombs. That's what CEO is doing. They're talking in a damn circle. That's why I told you that Albert Einstein.
If that's the case, then I need if what you're saying is true, man, then you gotta understand that that's probably why people. Then that's, dude.
Bro,
if what you're saying is true, that means black people deserve what they're getting, man.
People, because they have a problem for every solution. If you listen to the stupidity they say and say, all right, bro, let's go build outside of the city. You know what they say? They're gonna drop bombs. And then when you say, all right, well, let's go build in Africa where we got a little safety based on geographical location. No, we don't. The Africans don't like us, but everybody else over there building. These are Negro stalling tactics. This is just designed to hold up progress. They're doing the bidding of their white master.
Okay, then I got a question then, Brandon. What do black folks in America want then? Like, what do they want?
Brandon, hold on. Let Jess Wilford answer that. Jess Wilford is go ahead and answer that, Jess Wilford.
Hello, everyone. I just want to comment, make some comments on what Lou Major has said. Okay, what Black Americans want. I am part of the ADOS group. I also believe in Pan-Africanism a little bit as well. The problem is what we want is reparations and we want government protections. Lou Major, you made a statement about we should leave the city. My question to you is, with what money? Okay.
Okay. Just I don't think you say that, but brother, God, shut the fuck up.
Man. Shit, suffer. Suffer here in America. Just suffer. Just suffer. Give up and suffer.
I'm sorry. I don't typically say some shit like that. Listen, just whatever the hell your name is. The average black man makes $46,000 a year. The land that I'm talking about is $300 an acre or less. And in addition to this, black people spend billions of dollars a year on Michael Jordans. Black people spend more money on luxury goods than any other racial group in the world. In the world. That means more than white people, Asians, everyone. So don't fucking tell me that you don't have. Man, get this guy off, man. This dude's a fucking moron.
No, man, just suffer.
It's like this makes me sick, man. They make me sick, man.
They don't want to leave America.
Hold on.
We gotta calm down. We gotta calm down.
It would cost for you to buy an acre of land where I'm talking about. What the fuck talk about with what money? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
The average, okay, when you look at it from this way, okay, in Los Angeles, the average Black American, they're $1,400 liquid. After they pay the bills, they're $1,400 liquid. In my city,
nigga, 1,400. You know how many acres that is? It's 4 acres of land. You know how many families you can feed off of 4 acres? Guess what? 4 families. One family off of what you just said they are could go ahead and buy 4 acres of land. So why don't you go ahead and get your head on your ass, bro? With the excuses. You need to stop listening to that bitch, Yvette Carnell, and this Negro's rich stupidity. Because nigga, you sitting there saying they're talking points, and they're talking points to point what the fuck I'm saying, bro. You just said
Lou, why does he have to? What's preventing them from moving out of Los Angeles?
Okay, that's the question. Leave LA.
When Negroes start talking about geographical location,
that shit makes me sick, bro. That makes me sick. Because that's some pathetic shit, bro. That's pathetic shit. And here's the problem with this bullshit. You guys are teaching this shit to kids, man. Listen, if you want to sit there and you want to throw yourself a pity party, you go ahead and you go in the fucking corner, you shut the fuck up, shoot yourself, and throw your pity party. But you don't teach that shit to kids.
Nobody's not throwing a pity party. No one's not throwing a pity party.
I'm in LA. Antonio Moore is in LA. I'm 35 years old. I'm in LA. Antonio Moore has never done a single thing for the Black community in LA. The guy is an anomaly. He came out of nowhere. Yvette Carnell came out of nowhere. I've been on this scene for like 10 years. All these people came out of nowhere, bro. Tariq Nasheed wrote the books and stuff. Before that, he was pimping. That's cool. People change. But I will go with Tariq Nasheed before I go with Yvette Carnell. And I don't even like Tariq personally, right? Because I know that. But the thing is, I would go with Tariq before I go with Yvette Carnell and Tone Moore, because I'm looking at them and all they're doing is throwing a big old pity party, acting like the black man is so retarded that he can't say, look, black people can move out of LA to Nevada for cheap rent. Every prostitute is doing it. But all of a sudden they can't move.
Brandon, let me tell you something. I'm not a showy person, bro. But years ago, my first piece of land in the United States, man, first piece of property I ever bought, I was 19 years old. You know where I bought it? I bought it in Nevada, about 1 hour outside of Reno, Nevada. I bought 160 acres of land. Took me 7 years to pay it off. You know how much money I put down to buy that land? $500.
Right.
I put 500 down, and I paid $752 a month for 6 years. That was the first piece of property I ever bought. I was in college when I got it. I was working a part-time job like most kids, a lot of kids in college, and that's what I did. I paid $500 and paid $752 a month for 6 years. For 6 years. Now, what are you going to and you know how much land I got? 160 acres. Then I went off and bought another 640 acres 1 hour away from that. So 800 acres. You know how much I paid for the 640 acres? That was $5,000 down and about $1,000 a month for 6 years. Okay? So you know how many people could live on 160 acres of land? You telling me we can't get 30 black people together and say, hey, let's all go ahead and put in? What's 500 divided by 30? What's 750 divided by 30? You telling me Negroes can't do that?
Why
if that's what you believe about your own way,
so sensitive, man.
Some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. As a black person,
let him get his point out. These people hate themselves. You don't even got to respond.
Just Wilford, go. Just Wilford, go ahead. Then Rosie after Just Wilford. Go ahead, Just Wilford. Let me hear the stomp. Go ahead.
No. It's not no stalling tactics. No, it's just the facts with the numbers, of just what it is. Yeah, I mean, people may not agree with everything that Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore says, but there are some truths in what they do say. Because even with you, Diness, when you say that, hey, you're voting, Democratic, down ballot, that's ADOS. That's how we're going.
What did I say that?
I said that.
What did I say that?
No, not recently. In one of your other streams, you said like you were going to vote like down ballot on the ticket.
Oh, hell no.
What did I say that?
You said that in one of your streams.
Just Wilford, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 35 years old.
Okay, so you
man.
Let me tell you this, and I want everybody to pay close attention to this. When you talk to Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell, right, which I have, you have to understand something. They wanted reparations by working with the Democrats. The Democrats shitted on them, went on TV, said they'd never give niggas nothing. In a response to that, to punish the Democrats for not working with them on reparations, what did they do? They said, we're going to vote down ballot, right? So how is it punishing Democrats to sit up and vote for other Democrats, just not the Democrat for president?
I don't even think that's even worth talking about. I want to get back to Wilfred saying we don't have no money. No. I gotta. I'm sorry. I don't get. This is just. It's offensive. It's offensive, bro. You have to understand the insult, the way that you're being insulted as black people when you listen to this shit. $500. I had a person do the numbers for me. It was kind enough. 30 people could split that into my first land purchase. And I believe that same guy who sold me that land is still selling land to this day. Still selling it. And if y'all want the information, he's called the Nevada Landman. Okay, he's got land all over Nevada. So I'm telling you, and I know he does these deals for those who are interested. He said that they came to the numbers. They did the numbers for the down payment that I paid for my first piece of land. By the way, at 19 years old when I did it, $17 per person. What are you gonna say? Black folks ain't got $17, Wilfred? that what you're gonna tell me? You can't come up with $17?
Hey, Lou,
Is that what you're gonna tell me right now?
Lou, Mike Bibby, the ex-NBA player, bought an entire cul-de-sac and gated it and built it for his family, his two brothers and his sister, right? On my show, I did a video highlighting that. Black people are making excuses, okay? If Mike Bibby, who didn't make as nearly the amount of money as LeBron James makes, could build a gated community to protect his family from whatever, he got a playground for the kids, all types of stuff in that gated community that's exclusive for his family. Why is it that all these black people who claim they want to build this and do this cannot build a gated community? Near my house in Signal Hill, there's a gated community. It's mostly Mexicans, $1 million homes right on top of Signal Hill, right? Black people make excuses. We can't do this because this. We can't do this because that. Do you understand what would happen if the United States actually did something now like they did in Black Wall Street? Oh, wait, I do know. Black people will realize that white people don't give a shit about them and want to leave. So what we do is we make excuses to not do what we should do. Dr.
Brandon, do you know what? Listen, if I'm gonna use, I'm harping on this because it's serious. On 160 acres, okay, 160 acres could feed 160 families if you just planted it. But let's just say on that 160, if you got 30 families together, 20 families, 10 families together, 10 families put up $50 a piece for the down payment, pay $75 a month. All right. That leaves each of them with 16 acres. That's enough to feed that family and have food left over to open up a restaurant, farm to table restaurant, where you control your entire supply chain from tip to tail. There is no excuse, man. Like you can't tell me, oh, we ain't got no money, because at the end of the day, you ain't got no money to live like white folks, but you have to work your way up to that. And the way to work your way up to that is you have to be willing to do something for yourself. Now, if you're not willing to go to Africa, fine, don't go to Africa. I think that's foolish, but fine, don't go. But do something for yourself. Do you know how much an AR-15 costs? You can get an AR-15 for $500. You can get an AK-47 $350 legal. And if you're willing to go
Look, Jess Wilford, what are you currently working on to remedy the situation with black people in America for yourself? Besides reparations, what are you going to do? If reparations is at least 8 to 20 years off, so what are you going to do in the meantime,
Actually, what I do is I do believe in what Dinah says in terms of having an Africa plan. So I do have an actual plan to go to Nigeria and see what type of
nigga, if you believe this shit, don't come. Stay your ass where you at. Nigga, if you want some stuff on, oh, we ain't got no money, if that's really how you think, please don't go to Africa. Stay your ass here. Stay your ass right where you're at and go and continue to wait on your reparations.
When is the projected date to get that reparations check, Will?
No, okay. This is what it is. Okay, yeah, I advocate for reparations in the States, but also do have a plan to actually go.
So why don't you advocate the plan to go to Africa for everybody instead of sitting up selling niggas one thing that you're not even doing? You got a backup plan, but you telling them focus on.
Hold on.
No, it has to.
I got a question. The same way you came on here and brought up ADOS. When you're in the circle with Yvette Carnell and Tone Talk, do you bring up your Africa plan? I asked a question.
Well, like I don't call into Yvette. Yeah, I don't call into Yvette Carnell's show. But
my question is, have you brought up in Africa? You say you're ADOS, so I'm guessing you follow Yvette, you follow Tone Talk.
I do.
Do you follow them on social media?
Yes.
Have you brought up your Africa plan to them?
No, because I know that they're against it. So
so then why in the hell would you bring up and come on my platform and bring up your ADOS plan?
Oh no, because I'm talking about it where I just feel like, okay, it has to be.
No, this is all I want you to do. I want you right now. I'm about to kick you off. I want you right now to go on Yvette Carnell's Twitter and and bring up your African plant, and then I want you to take a screenshot of it and send it to me to let me know that you're sincere, because I don't believe
disingenuous. He's been
He's
disingenuous.
disingenuous. You come out here bringing up ADOS, you bring up Yvette Carnell's talking points.
But you got an African plan.
Hold on, you got an African plan.
Okay,
but you don't mention
you all brought it up.
Your African plan.
I just brought it up.
Hey, Diamond, him and Antonio Moore both. I bet Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore got an African plan.
Lou Major is the one that brought it up, so I was just only responding to him. Yeah, Lou Major brought it up. I was just only responding to him.
No. You brought up when you first came on that you also have an African plan as well.
You're Pan-Africanist.
Yes, exactly. I was just saying that yes, I do believe in the reparations in America, and I also believe in what you all are saying in terms of having.
Okay, so again, I want
Wilford.
I want you to tweet, Instagram, Facebook, Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks and say, "Hey, I am ADOS, but I am a Pan-African."
Well, I believe in Pan-Africanism a little bit.
Okay, so again, I hear you. I want you
a little bit.
To let, because you're ADOS, I want you to let them know that you are a Pan-African.
Dinus, if he believes in Pan-Africanism a little bit, why does he have a greater plan in the United States? The thing you believe in a little bit is what you been banked everything on by going to Africa.
Hold on, Brett. When I say I believe in Pan-Africanism a little bit, because I feel like, okay, Pan-Africanism has always been in the Americas. I feel like also, as Dr. Umar Johnson says, reason why we're disrespected in the States and around the world is because Africa itself isn't strong. So I do believe that Pan-Africanism has to be the foundation on the continent of Africa. And most Africans don't identify with the Pan-Africanism movement. Some of them do. Okay, well, actually, I have not been to Africa.
Okay, I socialize. What most Africans believe. How do people do that?
No, because I deal with some continental Africans. They come to the States.
You been to Africa?
I have African friends.
Brandon, hold up. Let me ask. Wilfred, let me ask you something. You said you got African friends. Now you sound like some. Okay, but have you actually been? Wait, Brandon. Have you actually got on an airplane and gone to Africa? This is very important, Brandon.
Okay, no, I have not been.
Okay, now Wilfred, stop.
I'm planning on going.
Wilfred, stop. You cannot say that you know what most Africans believe if you've never actually been to Africa. That's one. Two, actually, Wilfred, wait. Wilfred, what you don't seem to realize is that there are a myriad of African countries right now, and have been for years, that make it incredibly easy for African Americans to move there. There have been many overtures done by African countries, nations, entire nations, to African Americans to come back home. And it doesn't matter what these nations offer African Americans, you move the bar. Ghana says, okay, we're going to give every African American automatic right to a vote. That means if you go to Ghana right now, you can go ahead and apply for the right to a vote. Oh, but why don't they give us automatic citizenship? You constantly move the bar. Sierra Leone says if your DNA says that you are connected to any tribe in Sierra Leone, you get your citizenship.
I'm aware.
You see lines of African Americans applying for Sierra Leone citizenship. Liberia, the same thing. So if you don't, so what that says to me is that Africa seems to want African Americans more than African Americans want to go to Africa. So don't say to me something that is patently false that you heard probably from somebody else who themselves have never been to Africa. You have got to stop doing that. Now, if you have a few African friends who tell you that, oh, whatever, that is your friends. And there are a lot of the African elites who don't even like Africans.
Okay.
Some shit like that. I've got a person. I know this guy from Chad. He's part of the elite class of Chad. He's married to a white girl. And whenever he's around this white woman's family, all he does is talk shit about African Americans and Africans, just black people in general. Okay? And a lot of his friends in the same class, they're like that. But they see themselves more as being French than they even see themselves as being African. But actual Africans, do you know what the Ghana's flag actually stands for? Do you understand what the black star on the Ghana flag is? The damn flag of the fucking country is a Pan-Africanist flag. That's how you understand that that W.E.B. Du Bois died in Accra, Ghana, because Kwame Nkrumah invited W.E.B. Du Bois to help him run Africa. Do you understand that Malcolm X was preaching to African Americans to go back to Africa in the 1960s because of how much he was welcomed when he went to Africa? I really think, Wilford, that you really, really should. I'm trying to tell you this as a person who loves you, as a fellow black person. You really should stop listening to Yvette Carnell, to Tone Talks, and these ADOS people. And I'm going to tell you something else. I am now convinced that this entire ADOS movement is like some type of government organization or something. Because if you actually listen to them, their talking points are literally white supremacist talking points. They call people stupid and weak and incapable to your face, and you believe it. You actually believe it. And what I'm saying to you is, nah, man, stop. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to go to Africa, I can live with that. But don't you care enough about your own kids to not put them in an environment where they're going to get shot and harassed by police? Don't you care enough about your own kids where you could at least make sure they eat quality, fresh, healthy food? Don't you care enough about your own kids that you make sure they get a proper education? In California, 75% of black boys cannot read. Now, why would you continue to send your kids to a school system that is blatantly not educating them? Dr. Umar Johnson, who you quoted, is a huge advocate of homeschooling. He literally tells you and gives you the numbers that they intentionally try to put your kid in special ed to make money off of them so they don't have to educate them. So what I'm saying is, you sitting there consuming this ideology that is self-defeating and frankly disrespectful. Do you give a fuck about your kids? Do you care about them? Because if you do, when I say to you, yo, buy some cheap land outside the cities, grow your own food, educate your own kids, why is that not something that you go, holy shit, I ought to do that? Because do you really think they're going to send the police 1 hour outside of the city just to harass you?
They're not.
Do you believe that?
Land no more. Why
They're not
want that rural land no more? They want the cities back. That's
right.
why
Give them the cities. Why would you want it? If listen, if a people has abused you this much, why would you even want food from them? Why would you want them to educate your kids? Why would you want to live anywhere near them?
Blue Major. What the one thing Wilfred doesn't realize, he's 35 years old like me. All Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are government plants, right? They're not agents. They're more like operatives, right? They're ops because they're just going to waste your time. You're already 35. So you're going to sit in America waiting for the next president. By the time the next one comes, you're going to be 39. Then the next one, you're going to be, 43? Then the next one, how old you going to be? 47. The next one, before you know it, you're going to look up, you're going to be 65, 70, 80 years old, just like the people who came before us. They 80 and 70 years old because they sat in America waiting on something that was never going to come. You're wasting your time. You need to stop listening to them. You need to stop promoting their ideology to other people so they can go waste their time. Even these people in the comments talk about ADOS. They will die old and gray getting abused in America. You have a plan to go to Africa, brother. You at least you can see the light. Some people are so blind they don't even look at Africa. Don't waste your time. Go to Africa, take your wife, or go find you a beautiful woman. Go have you a family over there and just enjoy the rest of your existence. Everything you're taking in now does you no good from Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore. Antonio Moore, go look at his page. All he does is whine like a hoe on the page. What about this? What about that? I ain't never seen a Negro whine so much in my life with a baseball cap. Okay?
Keep in mind that this is a guy. This is like a man.
This a man. What about this? I swear to God, one time
I gotta say something.
Like, who is that whining like that? I said, it's this dude named Antonio Moore. The guy is totally just an op. Yvette Carnell, you know she's mentally unstable. You could tell that just by watching her thing for 5 seconds. So look at who you're in the company of, Jess Wilfred. You coming on a logical thinking platform with logical thinking black men successful, doing what we got to do in Africa and in America. Trying to argue the talking points of two morons who have no resume whatsoever other than capping for the white man, manipulating black folks. Do better.
Well, listen, they're not capping for the white man. Listen, I understand what all of you are saying, and I do agree with it. For me, I just agree with doing both. I agree with doing.
Okay, and Jess Wilford, that's great. Hold on, Jess Wilford, that's great. Jess Wilford, that's great. The point I'm saying is, I want you to tweet Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks and tell them that you are Pan-African and you are for building in Africa. That's all I want you to do.
Okay, yeah, fine. I mean, I just agree that, hey, it just has to be a little bit of both. It's not.
Where does Yvette Carnell work, Wilford? Where does Yvette Carnell work? Who does Antonio Moore work for?
Well, Antonio Moore is a lawyer, and Yvette, she does YouTube. Yeah, YouTube and some other things.
You don't even know where he works. You don't really know anything about these people. So you're following people you don't know anything about. So when they get over on you, don't be surprised, right? Because our people got a problem. See, when we look at the title of the show, you not on code, you just jumping on a bandwagon. You following two people you know nothing about. Talk about we need to do both. Both the what? ADOS ain't doing nothing but sitting around waiting on a check. So what exactly are they doing? Tell me what they're doing.
I can tell you what they're doing. Not a goddamn thing, except hating on people who are doing stuff. And to me, listen, man, let me tell you something. All right, I'm told all the time by a whole lot of people, Lou, you're a chauvinist. You're this. You're that. But I tell you what, those same people who tell me I'm a chauvinist respect what I do because I actually do. You're supposed to, as a man, you're supposed to do shit. You're supposed to do shit. You're supposed to be a doer, a creator. I'm going to prove something to you. Our women don't respect us. Our women don't respect us because they've got issues, but they also don't respect us because we don't do shit. But you know what I do notice about our women? When there are a group of black men doing stuff, guess what? They all show up. I'll give you an example. O'Shea Duke Jackson, who's probably the ugliest dude on YouTube. This guy started the Black Negro Manosphere. Bunch of black men talking about random shit, but he created it. It exists. It's real. You know who's always trying to be up in the Black Negro Manosphere? You guessed it, black women. So what does that say? Our women are just waiting for us as men to create something. So, like to just do something. If a bunch of black men went out and said, you know what, we're going to start building these compounds and settlements outside of the city. We're going to live self-sufficient lives. We're going to get some solar panels. We're going to dig some wells. We're going to build some cabins. We're going to live. We're done with this shit. Even if you didn't want to go to Africa, by the way, I'm just saying you want to, I guarantee you, women would show up. Black women would show up. They will come from miles around all over America just to see what these black men are doing. And you know what they would do? They would follow whatever rules we tell them. If we told them in our community, you got to walk around butt naked and plant apples all day. You know what the fuck they're going to do? They're going to walk around butt naked and plant apples because they're just waiting for male leadership. What they're not looking for is men who sit around bitching and moaning about how they ain't got no money and how they can't do nothing.
Hey, look at that guy, Nature Boy. That guy
Nature
got
boy. Nature boy.
that guy got all
Nature boy. Prime
all this
example. Nature boy.
He had
Nature
women
boy.
on land. Look, he had women on land that wasn't even his. Talk about we in paradise. Black women just want black men to lead them somewhere. Black
They
people
just want male leadership, man. That's why they so fucking mad. And you know what? At one point, I used to think, man, black women are real angry. But you know what? Sitting here listening to some of you niggas, I really figured out why. If I was a woman, I'd be mad too. Brandon, I've seen your wife. You got a smart wife. I bet you lead your household, don't you?
Of course. My wife went.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. My wife went on a road trip with a friend of hers who's a man, right? 2 days into the trip, he has an RV and stuff. He's a good friend of ours. 2 days into the trip, my wife was calling me nonstop complaining, talking about, babe, I cannot be around a man who has no direction. He don't know what he want to do. He don't know where he want to go. She said, I can't deal with this. I've been around you too long. You know where you want to go. I don't want to be the leader. I want the leader, the man to lead. I said, well, now you see the reality of the situation you're in. That's what women want. They crave that. Any woman who you give a job, look at the president of the United States. What job does his wife have? She ain't got no damn job. He gives her a job. The first lady will be in charge of changing the school lunch to be more healthy. The first lady will be in charge of the Just Say No program. He give her a job, and she goes out and executes it to a high degree. Our women want us to lead them. They want us to give them a job. They want us to give them an assignment, and they're going to execute it well. Why do you think women excel in the workforce so much? Because once you give them a job, they're going to execute it at a high level. But we don't give them a job, so they got to go to the white man to get an assignment, and that's why they work on his behalf a lot of times.
And my whole thing is, bro, when you sit there and with this, like I said, man, do something. Do something. Jesus Christ, do something. If you're not going to go to Africa, which is what you really need to be doing, but if you're not going to go, then do something. Put together something. Why would you keep your kids in harm's way? What kind of man are you? When you keeping your wife and your kids in harm's way, you know these police are going to murder them, and you're going to sit there and keep living in the cities like Dodo the Fool. No wonder our women don't respect us. No wonder they mouth off. They mouth off like that because they don't see something worth bowing to. And if I was a black woman, I'd be the same way at this point. Because this self-pity, not want to do shit is embarrassing, man. Frankly, it's embarrassing.
Of course, black men
want
to follow ADOS because ADOS gives them an excuse to not to do a damn thing. That's the next excuse. This generation has found civil rights gave the previous generation an excuse to sit on their ass and wait for the white man to hand them something. This generation's excuse is ADOS. Oh, why you didn't do nothing, Dad? Why you didn't do nothing, Mom? Oh, because we was sitting up waiting on the government to give us a check. Oh, we deserve a check, don't we? Yes, you sure do. You got all the reasons. But what's the result going to be? That's the problem with black folks. We don't want to work, so it's a full-time job we have looking for excuses to not do what we know we supposed to do. That is black people's biggest issue. That's what a CEO guy didn't understand. We have made an industry out of Negroes making excuses to not do nothing, and it's over. I'm taking my family to Africa. I'm taking my daughter for the first time, South Africa in January. Because she got to go see what Africa's like. So when we make that move, she ain't like, Dad, you just picked me up and took me over here. She got to go know what the move is. I'm gonna
show you something right now. With the Blantons, the guy from the people from South Africa.
Right.
I want you to listen to what that woman said, right? She didn't want to go.
I heard the show.
She was with a man. She was with a dog. That if she didn't act right, that dude would have left her ass in Virginia and took off. So you know what the fuck she did? She packed her bags and left. Because at the end of the day, she ain't going to lose her man over her fear. She knew that if she didn't go, that man's going to go without her. So guess what she did? She shut the hell up, packed her bags, and left. Okay? That's what that's what women are looking for, male leadership. She needs to know that you're gonna move this train with her or without her. And guess what? She's gonna get on board and she's gonna play her role. But
Bro,
when she's sitting around looking around, all she hears is her man complaining about how they can't do nothing because white people gonna do this, or I'm afraid of what white man's gonna do, or they did this. Well, then she's gonna think of what I need you for. If you scared of the white man, I'm gonna go to the white man. Then that's why they getting on. You got Cynthia G pretty much telling sisters you need to get yourself a white man. She's right. If this is the stock of Black American men, if this is what our sisters have to choose from, these bitch ass, whiny ass men, I feel sorry for you.
Hey,
I tell you what.
You never hear men like us, hey Lou, you never hear men like us bashing black women. Why? Because we don't have the same issues with black women that all these beta males have. Because these brothers have no direction, they don't want to have no responsibility, and they don't want to have no accountability. And women hate that. So guess what they do? When they see they're with a man like that, they crap on them, they use them, they make them spend money and don't really give them no love. And then you know what those dudes do? They go and complain, like my brother. Oh, women this, women that, women this. Well, you sleeping on a woman's couch every day. That's why women don't want to be with you. You hate women so much, but you sure can fix your mouth to ask my granny, a woman, to borrow $150, $500 every couple of days. Right? That's what we're dealing with. Jess Wilfred, you go when your kids and your wife ask you, Daddy, why are we in this situation? You're going to say, oh, it's because the white man, but you're not going to tell him it's because Daddy choose to stay up under the white man's nuts. I told my friend one time, look, one of my friends, their daughter got shot in Watts. I said, well, look, I feel sorry that happened to you. But, bro, you make good money. Why the F are you still keeping your family in Watts? We all know what happens in Watts. That's his fault. And no matter how you slice it, and black men hate that. We don't want power because with great power comes great responsibility. We hate power because with power comes responsibility. And we don't want to be responsible for nothing. Not our own lives, not our wives, not our kids, not our car note, not our car payment, the house payment, nothing. We want to just blame somebody else for why we can't do what we supposed to do. That is the black agenda right now. That is the black code. So when you tell me you not on code, you damn right. I'm so far off the code. If the code's right in front of my face, I wouldn't even be able to recognize it. Because we need to know what the black code really is versus what you guys claim it's supposed to be.
I just think it's ridiculous, man. Wolford, you're 35 years old. You should know better than this, man. You ought to feel ashamed of yourself. You really should, as a man.
Shame about what? I mean, I'm doing politics
that first of all, you should feel ashamed of yourself that at 35 years old that you would actually in any way identify with a woman who is clearly mentally ill. Okay? Wilford, you can't sit there and tell me that you cannot see that this woman is mentally ill. And yet you would come here, 35, no, Wilford. Well, no, Wilford. You would come here. You are talking to three highly educated black men who are clearly not fearful. You got a guy, Brandon, who told straight up the largest YouTuber, black YouTuber in the space, you ain't doing your shit right. To his face, no problem. Told Snoop Dogg, a multimillionaire, you fucking up, no problem. And you're going to really come here at 35 years old, and you're going to spit the talking points of a clearly mentally ill woman?
She's not. What makes her mentally ill?
She's not mentally ill.
Wilford, brother, are you married? Are you married?
No, not married.
That is not surprising. Are you gay, Wilford? Are you gay?
No.
Okay, so you're a 35-year-old non-gay single black man. Do you think that there might be a reason why? Do you think it's possible that when women see you, they smell pussy?
Oh, come on, Lou Major.
No, man, it's got to be said.
Lou Major, come on, Lou Major, come on, man. Lou Major, come on.
You are 35 years old.
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and close out. Wilford, anything you'd like to share in closing?
Will, would you marry Yvette Carnell? Just answer me that one question. Would you marry Yvette Carnell based on what you see and know about her?
Yvette Carnell is a lesbian.
You said she's what?
She's a lesbian.
Exactly. Why you should
So
be.
you think they're gonna tell a mentally ill lesbian woman's talking points like that? Think about it, Wilford. Think about what you
How
just
is she
said, bro.
okay?
Like, please, man, I'm not
How
even
is she
trying to put
mentally
you
ill?
down, man.
How is she mentally ill? You still haven't explained why she's mentally
Okay,
ill because she's
No,
a
no, no.
lesbian.
Because
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lesbian.
Hey, hey, I want to, hey, guys, I want to go ahead and close this out. I want to go ahead and close this out. Yeah. Well, I don't. I
That's
just don't
real.
want to. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Just Wolf, anything like to share and close?
No.
Okay. All right, brother. We appreciate you coming on. Thanks for coming on. All right, Lou Major, anything you like to share and closing, brother? Anything like to share and closing?
Okay. Here's the deal. First of all, anybody who's on here who listens to Yvette Carnell in Tone Talks, here's an action step. Unsubscribe from their channels today. Now. Right now, that needs to be the first thing you do is unsubscribe. Stop listening to that poison. 2, I believe that every Black person should have an Africa planning to be trying to get to Africa. But if you're not, if you are insistent that you are just not going to go to Africa, you know what? That's fine. Can you at least be willing to do something for yourself? Are you willing to, at least for the sake of your own children, feed them food that is not killing them? For the sake of your own children, are you willing to at least move to an environment where they're not going to get killed by police or be so whitewashed because they're around whiteness so much that they forget who the hell they are? Are you at least willing, for the sake of your own kids, willing to take some action? I can tell you right now, my man Earl Allen, he's here. He bought 132 acres of land, 40,000 by himself. 132 acres, right? So there's a lot of land out there that doesn't cost that much. Are you willing to take some action and say, you know what? Instead of buying those Jordans or instead of buying that Popeye's chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and buy myself some land and I'm gonna grow my own food and I'm gonna separate myself from these white folks. Are you willing to do something, anything, besides complain? Because I, as a Black man, okay, your complaining is starting to have a negative effect on not only your own life, but every Black man out there. Because here's the deal. I feel sorry for the fact that my women who have to look to us for protection, leadership, and guidance, all they see every day is Black men, the people that they are looking to for protection, leadership, and guidance, complaining about what they cannot do, talking about what they cannot attain, and leaving our women in a state of with no leadership, no protection, no guidance, which leaves them very angry for honestly good reason. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect. They have problems, but you could definitely see why they might be so angry. And what I'm saying to you is, Black men, can you please be willing to do something? Even if it's just a simple act of moving out of the hood and moving to a rural environment. I believe if Black people aren't going to come to Africa, then we should at least do the next best thing, which is what the Rastas did. And you go out to the mountains and you just leave the cities alone. Get away from these white folks and get away from anybody who's telling you that you need to ride with these white folks. They're not your friend. You have every intention of murdering you and killing you, and they're attacking you in every single angle. So the very least that you can do is, if you're not going to leave the country, can you at least leave their proximity?
All right, Brandon, go ahead. Appreciate it, Lou, man. Brandon, go ahead, brother.
Sorry, I had to mute my mic and turn my camera off. I was looking at the comments, cracking up. It's too funny. All I know is somebody said somebody got some sugar in their tank. That killed me. Anyway, yeah. So there was this one cracker named Napoleon Bonaparte, and he said, take time to deliberate, but when the time for action arrives, stop thinking and go in. Right. Black people have a lot of stuff they want to constantly keep discussing, talking about different issues. The issues are so acute that even a child can see what's going on are going wrong with the Black or African community. We have to stop sitting up talking endless, mindless repetition of the same thing. Lou Major, you got some wind in the background or something.
No, it's cool. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
But,
No, I mean,
we got to stop with the mindless, the constant conversation. Me, Dynas, Lou, we presented something to you about being on code. I talked about there has to be an oath in place for a code to be initiated, right? There are certain promises and obligations that we have to make to each other for a code to even be effective. Because right now, there is no clearly defined black code for us to follow. The word code is just being used to keep people from having to take accountability of what they're doing, right? For what they're doing. Guys, we all know you need an Africa plan. We all know that none of this is going to stop in America. If you don't realize that, you're going to end up like the brother Wilfred here, 35, sitting up arguing about talking points where no action is taking place. We need to start taking action. If you really want to be on code, our new code should be take action. What is the black code? What is the Black American code? Take action. Wherever you are, do something. When I played sports, they used to tell me it doesn't matter where you are. It just matters about what you're doing where you are. If you could help black people by tap dancing, go tap dance. As long as you tap dancing towards Africa, you good with me. We need to stop overcomplicating the situation. Look at what's been tried, what's failed, and Jose J. Bronze had a good one. Family and next generation first. That's a good code. Whatever's conducive to the enrichment of your family and the progress of the next generation. It's a lot of people who are older on here. They got a lot of issues with what we're doing. You know what I'm going to do when I'm old? I'm going to look at the younger generation and say, whatever y'all want to do, I support it. Because I'm not going to do it. I didn't do it when I had my chance. So now I'm going to let y'all take the lead, and I'm just going to support. We need to develop that type of code, not just the code that absolves us of responsibility. Let's take action and work for the next generation. That's it.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com.
Yo.
Huh?
Real quick. Everybody, please subscribe to Brandon's channel. It's Pan-Africanist Strikes Back. This brother here, man, he does a good job. Now, Brandon, I'm going to have to call you up, brother. You're going to need to be consistent. And you need to put consistent content out there. Don't be on some bullshit and be inconsistent about it. If you're going to do it, do it. But what I am going to say is, in the meantime, please, everybody, Pan-Africanist Strikes Back. Get on his channel. It's good stuff. He's not consistent, but he's going to get better. Right, Brandon?
Of course. Thank you.
Okay. But let's go ahead and give the brother the support that he needs, man. He's doing some good stuff. Let's blow his channel up. All right. And he's going to be consistent because we're going to all subscribe. Is that right, Brandon?
Yep. Get on code and support my channel. No, thank you, guys.
Let's crush it, brother. Let's crush it. Good channel, man. That's all I have.
All right, y'all. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Like, share, subscribe. Go to dynastymirror.com. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Hey, the Black Authority is on right now too. Go watch that. He's funny.